gone out on the full. So the free kick will go to the Devils. Tim Lee with the ball at half-back. Tim Lee, my tip for the Les Leedy medal and the blue ribbon medal, which will be awarded to the best on ground at the end of the grand final. Sayanides knocks it in front of himself. Strong tackle applied, and once more it will be a ball up on the outer side of East Burwood Reserve.
Came up with a good one there, Dino. You just noticed that Harkness and Anthony Mariani running side to side. An interesting one. You wouldn't think Braden Harkness would be a lockdown player, and you wouldn't think that Rick Irwin would be instigating a tagging move for Anthony Mariani either, would you?
No, not at all. It's quite interesting to see Mariani not start in the centre, but he runs forward of the footy, and he's in a great spot now. But Harkness is going to have to be careful. He can't afford to sag off him, or he's going to get cut up, because Mariani does score pretty heavily.
Lapari's kick then out into the path of Grasser, just landed in front of him. So boundary throw in, broadcast side, knocked out of the ruck. Crome takes possession, hands it off to Walker, who cops a high one from Van Kirchhoff.
Professional free kick, I think. They didn't have too much in front of the footy. You just had to slow that one down.
Great kick by Walker. Finds
a forward roll, Darcy Irwin, doing it well pretty early here.
Kick by Irwin set Mariani a hard task. Edgecombe was back there to relieve. Goes to his teammate in Leggett. And first time we've seen Taylor Leggett in the action so far. Leggett goes back to Edgecombe.
He's had a stack of football already, Scotty Edgecombe.
Leggett, short now to Freeman. So they've conceded some ground, the Devils, but still well and truly in control. Freeman's long searching kick to Hutchinson. And it was a good effort by Hutchinson. He's been paid the mark, and will send the Devils forward once more. Lex to go short to Harkness. Harkness hugging the boundary with the kick, and he's found Teakle on a long lead. So Andrew Teakle wheels around now, sends it forward for Wantirna South. Massive pack of players camped under the footy. Ball was fed out into the path of Mariani for the Dockers. He wants some support.
Great tackle. Great tackle.
Bain arrives on the scene, and it was a strong tackle to force the ball up.
So, with Edgecombe behind the footy here, you wonder how long it's going to last before Rick Irwin does something about it. But while they're not getting scored against, leave it the way it is.
Stavropoulos got it onto Bain, and then Wilson hands it off to Wadsworth. Teaming together nicely, the Dockers. Kick out was out into the path of Brown. Brown tries to elude Hutchinson. Kick into open space. Sat pretty favourably in the end for Stavropoulos. Little handball off now to Lapari under pressure. Has to concede with the handball back to Mariani. Anthony Mariani dodges and weaves as he was well tackled by Lang. And great tackle then from David Lang, who was a Trojan Young Gun nomination earlier in the year.
Just lost his feet at the wrong moment, Anthony Mariani. The pressure was fantastic from Lang, but you just got to keep your feet in that occasion.
So Lang, from the half-back line, that was an interesting looking kick, and it was set up for him in the end to lay the spoil, and knocked over the boundary line and out of bounds, right near the Wantirna South bench, and Matty Clark sussing out the situation. Half-forward line for Templestowe, currently leading it by 1 point here. Dean's got a handle on it. Lapari's kick was...
We don't know who initiated it, but it seemed to start like that, and Wantirna South allowed it, and Matt Bain cut him a new one so far. So, if it's going to leave it like that, it's going to continue the same way. So, I don't think Wantirna South are playing with anywhere near the flair that they normally do. They seem to be going up and down the railway line, not switching the footy. They have got spare guys behind the ball, but they're just not looking laterally. So, when they play at their best, they're using the whole width of the ground, and today they're just not.
Yep. And from this situation where they have obviously had this slow start, how easy is it just to flick the switch and turn it on and keep going? I mean, it's easier said than done from up here, obviously.
Oh, it's a lot easier up here. Gee whiz, when you're not coaching, it's so easy. You can see everything. I look at, they're a classy side, Wantirna South, so they're going to get their time. Their time's going to come. But I think Templestowe are a real hardened side, and I think that they've got their sniff. And you want to have the sniff at the start of the day rather than chasing us. So.
Absolutely right. Thanks to Lifecare, let's cross down boundary side to Braden Ingram.
Yeah, Seymour got the Templestowe coach, Rick Irwin. Rick, you said it's a ground ball wall. You're certainly winning it at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, look, we're pretty happy with the contested ball. That's where it's got to be won, that attack on the footy, and right now I think we're going pretty happy with that.
The wind probably picked up towards the end of that quarter a little bit. Are you mindful of that going into the second term?
Yeah, look, as I just said to the boys, I reckon it's a breeze down there for sure. Probably a 2-3 goal breeze. So, we've got to try and lock them down this quarter.
You've got the +1 in the back line. Is that something you're going to keep going?
Yeah, look, at the moment, it's working, and that's what we'll stick with.
And look, they're not at the moment. Is that just pure pressure from Templestowe?
Yeah, I just said to the boys, I just reckon they're turning the footy over a bit, and I said, why do you think that'll be? And the boys were on it. They said, our pressure, and I said that's what can happen with pressure. So really, really happy with the intent, and we're bringing a bit of heat, which is good.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, mate.
Templestowe senior coach Rick Irwin there, always happy to give his time. Gav Casey, the other partner in crime down there on the boundary line. Thanks to Lifecare.
Yeah, it was in the huddle with Wantirna South, and Matt Clark, usually a measured orator, he just said, bring it in tight, and he was disgusted with their attitude. He said it stinks. He's absolutely appalled with his midfield guarding space. They're getting outnumbered in the contest 2-1. He's just really thinking that they've just expected it to happen, and if they're going to bring it like they can get it back in this quarter.
Thank you very much, Gav Casey. Brad Henderson has assumed the central commentary position again and ready to get us underway here in the second term, which is Templestowe 4-2-26, currently leading Wantirna South by 24 points, 0 goals, 2 behinds. Brad Henderson, as we wait for the umpires just to make sure everyone's left the ground. Do you have any thoughts on what happened in that first quarter?
Well, it's interesting hearing what Gavin Casey said from the huddle there. I noticed before the game, I watched the warm-ups of both sides, and Wantirna South's warm-up time on the second oval probably ran about half the time of Templestowe's, and there wasn't a lot of intensity in that pre-game warm-up either. It was a fairly cruisy, sort of casual pre-game warm-up. I was a little surprised, whereas Templestowe was all intensity.
Yep. Braden, Ingram, thanks to Lifecare again.
Yeah, Brad, just on that, the intensity, that's what it was all about. Rick Irwin said the body language was amazing. He was really happy with it, and they were so focused at the huddle, and that's, I think, a key point you speak about the warm-up, because they just look really up and about for the challenge.
Thanks to Lifecare there, Braden Ingram on the boundary. The second quarter gets underway. Umpire Andrew Gillies starts things off, and it's B. Howden there against Prestigiacomo in the ruck. What do you think as an opposition coach, Dean, when you see the opposition start with that +1 behind right from the start of the game? Do you see that as a negative tactic?
Well, sometimes it's like I said before. Sometimes you wait for the first person to blink. So at the moment, Wantirna South should be blinking like there's no tomorrow, because the alarm bells are going off pretty early.
The umpire throws it up. Van Kirchhoff gets a quick kick out of the middle. It's Harkness who attacks the footy. Spearing kick by him up towards half forward. Wadsworth dished off the little handball to Semertzidis. Semertzidis' kick up towards the wing was intercepted there by Lee, who sends it straight back from where it came from. That's Barry, who got the little handball off to Papa. Anthony Papa, who's always a live wire for the Devils, and he's found Badone. Great body work there.
Pushing the back.
Oh, in fact, the umpire says no, it wasn't good work of the body there by Badone. He's given the push in the back, and so free kick goes to the Dockers.
It'll be Alistair Quinn who's going to play on Badone all afternoon.
And Quinn got the handball back to Ryan Bain. The umpire paid a free kick then, but then called the advantage. And Bain's kick was untidy, to say the least. Finds the boundary line. With thanks to Lifecare, let's go down to Gavin Casey on the boundary.
Well, Matt Clark's also talked to Dipper Badome. He said you're going to be double teamed, so everyone's got to lower their eyes, look for other options, and Badome's got to be smarter.
Bit of aerial ping pong from the ruck contest. Finally finishes up in the hands of Prestigiacomo. Sends it off to Brown. Brown bounced in the tackle, which will be holding the ball every day of the week as far as umpire Jamie Beattie's concerned. Free kick goes to Daniel Crone for Wantirna South, right in the middle of the East Burwood Reserve. Sends it forward. Hutchinson the target. Semertzidis sharked the pack nicely. Clever little intricate little left foot kick to Wilson. Was effective. Wilson's kick, bit of an up and under job to the wing. To a contest, Teakle. Front and centre to the pack, did well. Gathers it in now. Teakle's kick to the top of the square, but Dome again had to go up 1-on-2. Ball spills over the back to Papa.
Oh, big miss.
Papa is a definite goal kicker for the Devils, but on this occasion, wrong side of the post. Minor score. Wantirna South still looking for their first goal of the game. 3 behinds for them. Templestowe 4-2-26.
The first goal of this quarter is absolutely massive. I mean, if Wantirna South get it, obviously they're back into the game. If Templestowe get it, they won't immediately shake that sort of mental demon, if you will, of kicking against the win in the second quarter, and it becomes a 5-goal lead and an even bigger reward for their efforts. So it really is a really big goal, this first one of the quarter.
Ryan Bain gets a couple of leads from the Mariani boys. Elects to go out wider to Wilson. It was a good lead by Jesse Wilson. He's already kicked 1 goal in this match. It was a ripper in the first term. Drives the ball up towards the wing position, a 2-on-2 situation, knocked away there by Lee towards the boundary line, and it goes over for a throw-in, about 70 metres out from the Wantirna South goal line.
Matty Bain pushed back up to a half-forward flank in this term, where he started in the first term, so it'd be interesting to see if that's a set move where eventually he will go back behind, find himself back behind the football again.
Houghton palmed it down to Teakle. They've done that a few times, and he was brought down by Prestigiacomo, who no doubt will have his tackling game on today. He's a ferocious player, an imposing figure on the field. Goes up this time, Horton got the knockdown. Prestigiacomo got a little handle on it. It's eventually hands in Seppi. Went backwards to go forwards to Van Kerkhoff. That was a little bit risky, and he was slung after he got rid of the football. So they get off pretty luckily there, Templestowe.
Decision making in the last 2 or 3 minutes coming off half back has been pretty poor, the Dockers. Wantirna South really need to make them pay here, get themselves back into the game.
Out wide to Wadsworth, kicks out towards Bain. It went a little bit too far for Matty Bain, and out of bounds on the full. Turner South have the football. Jack Burkett on the right boot. It was a grubber of a kick. Matt Mariani was in the front spot, so he took it on the chest, and he'll move it relatively quickly. Prestigiacomo almost across the centre half back line. It was an interesting looking kick into the middle of the ground. Not too sure what happened there with Lipari, but it went after the football, back to Prestigiacomo, went to Bain. The kick was smothered. Pappas trying to get boot to ball. He's over the football, as is Ryan Bain, and we'll have a bounce right on the 50-metre arc. 7 minutes gone in the second term of this Division 3 Choose Tap Grand Final, and it's a 23-point lead to Templestowe at this stage. Head over the football, Papa. We'll hand it back to the umpire.
Still like to see Horton go forward. He's sitting behind the ball, but he's not going to cover the ground too well, and he's got to make that +1 accountable at the moment. He's not doing a lot. Big
fly by Barry, got the knockout straight down the throat of Wilson for Templestowe, and he was wrapped up quickly in a tackle. And we'll have a bounce. It's now about 45 metres out from Wantirna South goal, so it's still in their forward line. Big fly by Barry over the back. He nearly gave away a free kick. Umpire said it was okay. Baker tried to barge his way through. He eventually handballed it straight to Seppi, who'll be able to go out wide, and Templestowe will use the wing position. The kick by Brown is an up and under kick towards the bouncing football there of Irwin. It went away from him, and Wantirna South, they've got the numbers, linking up well through the middle. Teakle arches it back and then kicks it up towards the half-forward line. It was a bit of a helicopter punt, so it spun away, unfortunately, from Ryan Baker. That was the target, and we'll have a boundary throw in about 40 metres out from Wantirna South goal.
It's a wrong bloke to have behind the footy, I think, for Wantirna South. Horton, he's not your running, he's not going to cut Templestowe to shreds with his possession. It might just be down to take the odd intercept mark, but I think it's an absolute waste. But Bain versus Horton as a loose man behind the football, I mean, I know who I'd be taking.
Absolutely.
Let's cross down boundary side, thanks to Lifecare. Gav Casey.
BWS, the win down here, mate, it's certainly picked up. We've probably undersold it in the first quarter. It's probably a 2 or 3 goal win now, so that's something I think Templestowe are looking to be addressed, and that's why Wantirna South a bit more dominant early on.
Walker's kick bounces over the boundary line for another throw-in. Thought Scott Edgecombe as the loose man seemed to be working okay in the first quarter, but
when the ball's in the forward line like it is, Horton's useless back here. He needs to get somewhere near the footy to make him accountable.
Boundary throw-in. Prestigiacomo shared it with Bain.
That's the guy.
Sweeping handball by Brown. Papa attacks the footy now. Very high up and under kick. Huge pack camped under it. Ball spills over the back. Wadsworth against Baker. Baker kicks it right into the padding on the goalpost from about 2 metres out. And, they dodged a bullet then, the Dockers. Wantirna South 4 behinds. Templestowe 4-2-26 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So Alex Brown to bring the ball in, and he went to play on there and just didn't realise he was in the square on a kick-in, so he sold a little bit of candy on the mark but didn't play it to himself. So we'll have a bounce 10 metres out from the Wantirna South goal line. You don't see that every day. Pyer throws the ball up. Brown got a good fist on it that time, a little push in the back, and the umpire said it was okay. Seppi, last line of defence, swings around on the left. It was a percentage kick out towards the half-back line. Lipari might have given away a free kick here. Lachlan Gregg copped one on the shoulder. Just had his head in the right place at the right time. So Gregg, he'll kick it to that danger zone. No one stood the man on the mark, so he might just have his own ping here. He kicks it all the way. It might even go the whole way. What a fantastic kick, but it was touched on the goal line. Oh, that was nearly a massive goal for the Wantirna South Football Club. They are peppering Wantirna South on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They are 5 behind. They're still trailing by 21 points. Templestowe 4-26. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Inside 50s this quarter, 7-1 in favour of Wantirna South. Cheppy up to 10 possessions for the match, already 3 this quarter.
Bain brings the ball back in, looks for Harris, his ruckman. Dropped the mark, but he has the wherewithal to gather it in and hand it off to Wilson. And in fact, they just traversed the boundary line then, so boundary throw-in. 21-point lead to Templestowe. 4-2-26. Wantirna South 5 behinds. They're threatening to kick the first goal, and break the duck here. The Devils. Papa, handball back to Leggett. Leggett's kick to the top of the square, but it was really always going to be marked then by Brown. And Alex Brown, who's finding plenty of the footy. It was a dangerous kick for Wadsworth. Wadsworth does really well though, stands tall, sends the kick up towards the wing, bit of holding on. Free kick will go to Jackson Irwin.
Oh, they didn't need to do that either. Burkett had the sit there.
Back into the Dockers team this week, Jackson Irwin goes very short to Bain. Ryan Baines kicks a good one. Fiorenza, first time we've called him today. He's kicked to about 20 metres out from goal, but Freeman will clear for the Devils. A thumping kick by Freeman. Looking for Lang, had Wilson in opposition. He's a great tackler, Jesse Wilson. He almost stripped him of the footy again, and he will get a free kick here.
Incorrect disposal, umpire's paid there.
So tenacious, Jesse Wilson, in every contest, and he wins so much of the footy that way. He goes short now to Prestigiacomo. Ball on the wing. Just slowing things down now, the Dockers. Prestigiacomo's kick, and Howden there just read it nicely. Takes that intercept mark that we spoke about before. Howden's kick to the wing though.
Straight to a 3-on-1.
It's chopped off by Wadsworth. It was a bad option. And Wadsworth's kick, not a bad one. They go through the middle now, the Dockers. Brown, who's having heaps of the footy in the second term, floats it out towards the wing, and it finds the boundary line in front of a pretty annoyed Anthony Mariani.
Yeah, just on Brownie, he's getting a lot of the football. That's 3 disposals in a row now for him that he's turned the football over.
Just lacking a little bit of touch.
Lacking a bit of polish today. So back into play, Howden against Presti once more.
It looks like the Dockers have done a good enough job in weathering that Wantirna South storm that we just saw. Now they need to do what the Devils couldn't do in the first quarter, which is go down the other end once or twice and kick that back-breaking goal that might just deflate Wantirna South a little bit.
Well, Howden went up unopposed there in the end, got the knockdown. Picked up there by Brown, goes after it again, couldn't release a handball. In and over the football was Taylor Leggett. Always one to put his eye on the ball over a pack.
Going to make it very hard to score Wantirna South here because Templestowe have rolled 3 guys behind the ball. Good luck trying to get through that.
Comes down Stavropoulos' handball, went into no man's land. Anthony Mariani laid a pretty harsh tackle, which the umpire deemed a high tackle on Braden Harkness. Swing around on the left boot, the trusty left boot, it holds up, and there was a bit of a floater in the end, so it was picked up there by Irwin. He did well to release Seppi, has a bounce in towards the middle of the ground. Grass has come a long way up. He'll be able to take off the big man and thump it inside forward, 50 towards the Bain direction. It was knocked away from him. Bouncing football out towards the half-forward line. Templestowe look like they've got the numbers there. Comes out to Jackson Freeman. He got the handball. Well, they're putting themselves under pressure. Leggett back to Freeman now. Well, they've created the switch here, Wantirna South, and they just might be on here because releasing himself is Ryan Baker, who takes the mark, and he's got to go too because he's got players further afield up across the half-forward line. Hutchinson swings around. Sold a little bit of candy, gained himself every bit of 5 metres. He gets a big kick of the football. He kicks it right to the line over the top of Howden's head. Wadsworth was right on his hammer and through for 1 behind. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 13 and a half minutes gone here in the second term of the Division 3 Choose Tap Grand Final. Templestowe still lead 4-2-26. Wantirna South, they can't buy a goal, 6 behinds.
No, they can't, as Seppi brings it back in. Goes very short to Wadsworth, who's having a great grand final. Wadsworth's kick up towards the wing. Stevens was the target. Handball from Lang over the top. Tim Lee now for the Devils.
Hutchinson.
Kicks to Hutchinson, finds him on his own, and had plenty of time then, Brad Hutchinson. Semertzidis couldn't affect the spoil, and usually a pretty good finisher, very calm customer, but he's elected to go short here, Hutchinson, and give it off to Leggett, who's also a very good kicker of the football.
Lost 10 metres though in the kick. He went back.
It's not a bad decision though, because Taylor Leggett is a fantastic boot of the football.
Yeah, and he's certainly close enough still to goal. Hutchinson was on a pretty tough angle. Leggett is a lovely kick of the footy. Doesn't look like he's managed to get the Devils' first goal, though. He's off target. 7 behinds now for Wantirna South. Templestowe 4-2-26 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
When do these yips start becoming a factor? I mean, the mental demons start to creep in, and it gets harder and harder to kick a goal.
Oh, we kicked last year against Forest Hill. We kicked 11-21. So, yeah, I know all about the yips.
Seppi sends it out wide towards Quing. He had 3 bites of it and was roved off the pack there by Ryan Bain, who got a little bit of a banana kick out towards the wing position. He was going after his teammate there in Darcy Irwin.
Great job.
Eventually picks the football up. It was, as you heard Seymour, it was a great second effort. Handball across to Mariani, who has a little bit of time in the middle of the ground here. Waited for the longest period towards. He could kick it up towards his brother. Over the top of his head it goes. Freeman got a handle on it, but Anthony Mariani's first one to meet it there. Handball back to Lipari, who linked up well with Van Kerkhoff, who arched the back 55 metres out from goal. He sends it in towards the forward pocket. A 1-on-2 situation, and what a ripper mark by Bain. Except the free kick's been paid against him. It happened down the end for Wantirna South, and now it's happened again. That was Jamie who went up for that one, and well, he may be a little bit stiff there, especially down the Templestowe end. And what a fantastic end it is to see today with all the pom-poms and the streamers. They're really doing it well, the Dockers faithful.
Starting to use the ball a bit more laterally now, Wantirna South. They're getting a bit of their run back.
Well, Chrome's kick, he kicked it to a 1-on-2 contest. The one wins out in the end. Ryan Bain switches it up towards the half-forward line. Here's Jackson Irwin. Handball to Matt Mariani. He'll link up okay here with Darcy Irwin one way, then the other. Just get your boot to ball. And he was put under too much pressure in the end. Kicks it to the pocket over the head of Jamie Bain and out of bounds on the full. So Wantirna South to bring the ball back from the back pocket. Short passes on. Jackson Freeman named in the 30-man squad for the SEN Team of the Year. Short pass, spots up Andrew Goland. Still in the defensive arc for the Devils. Go further afield. Big crowd out here today at East Beld. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Templestowe, they have it so far. Huge fly over the back that time by Fiorenzo. At the fall of the ball, Van Kerkhoff. Handball over the top. That worked out well. He'll get it back on the old 1-2 from Stavropoulos, but then hit the ground. He got it back to Stavropoulos. The wild 1-2, and he kicks it into the forward pocket off the side of the boot. It was a bit of a smother, so well done there by Wanty South, and they'll have a boundary throw in, one in front of the miniature Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 7 behinds, Wantirna South. Templestowe 4-2-26. Both sides neither to score a goal already in this term. First one ever so important. Templestowe, they can snag one. The Wantirna South have been peppering for pretty much the first 16 minutes of this term as the clearing kick goes out of bounds on the full, and it'll be Lipari to bring it back in. Short passes on Van Kerkhoff. He's had a bit of the football. Always seems to be alone.
Yeah. Ryan Bain trying to find himself in some space at half forward.
There's not a lot of space inside that forward 50. As the short passes on Paul Fiorenzo. Had a ripper game last week. Handball's off. Seppi, he's certainly the link man that you want to. Switches it across. And you heard it in the background from Dean Burnell. Matty Bain was all by himself.
Been standing there for 40 seconds.
Short passes on, and it was a shocker too. Andrew Teakle thought it was Christmas. He got the clearing kick out wide, and the mark's been taken there by Sam McIntyre. He almost went on with it, but you to steady things up. Kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Walker will have to be the flyer or use his body better here, but he gave a little bit of a nudge, and it wasn't fair, and Templestowe received the free kick across the half-back line.
I do indeed, and Templestowe with possession. This is Lipari, liked his game again today.
He's had a big quarter.
Every time I see the Dockers play, he seems to play well. Lipari's kick to Stevens. Floating kick by Stevens was a poor one. Really should have been marked in the front position there by Baker. Van Kerkhoff races in, fires at the goals.
Nice.
Marked on the line, and the goal has been kicked by Jamie Bain, in fact. Kicks the easy goal with thanks to Choose Tap Grant Campbell.
Yeah, the inside 50's now 10 apiece, and Wantirna South were dominant early, leading at 10-2. Some of the leading ball getters, Van Kerkhoff's already had 8 this quarter, Prestigiacomo and Seppi 5, as well as Jesse Wilson with 6.
Jamie Bain's second goal of the game, and he joins Matty Mariani as the multiple goal kickers for Templestowe. The Dockers 5-2-32, Wantirna South 7 behinds on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
That's a backbreaker. That Wantirna South were good enough to have all the running in the first half of the quarter, and Templestowe good enough again to weather that storm and get that very, very important first goal.
Not sure why Wantirna South have got 2 guys behind the ball. I know I keep saying it, but it's clearly not working.
Too many in the square as well for the Devils, so the wheels look like they might just be falling off.
Oh, free kick to Harris, who moved it on Mariani. Spears a pass into Grasser! He takes the mark, 30 metres out from goal. Well, they did it well then. Clean skills right deep inside the forward 50. Simon Grasser, big man, full forward.
The pig.
I don't feel ever comfortable calling him that. He's a ripper. Mark of the year last year. Means nothing when you're having a very important kick for your side to stretch the lead to 31 points, and he does just that. Straight over the goal umpire's head. There's Grasser's first for the afternoon, and Templestowe, well. 6 goals to 38. Wantirna South 7 behinds.
That is another backbreaker. 2 in a minute in that sort of situation is, and whoever that 5th man in the square was, that's a cardinal sin.
Let's cross down boundary side thanks to Lifecare. Braden, Ingram.
BWS, Gavin and I were just having a quick chat to Adam Prestigiacomo as he waited to come on. He said he wouldn't mind if it rained right now because it's raining goals anyway, so who cares?
Back in the middle once again, it's a 31-point lead to Templestowe, and still plenty of time remaining in this second quarter, but Wantirna South just cannot buy a goal today. This is the team who finished top of the ladder, minor premiers in 3rd Division. Deans won the tap down. Quick kick came out of the pack. Barry was the target, but Bain intercepted it. Matty Bain, and his kick was smothered over the boundary line.
So they put the big fella Horton down forward. He really needs to get involved here and take a couple of big marks.
Is that the change they're after?
Well, I think they're under pressure. They need to get the ball in a bit quicker. I think they're mucking around with it a little bit, so he might be the out clause.
Boundary throw in.
They've got to get
Advantage
it first.
is paid. Mariani gave it to Ryan Bain. Bain's kick looks for Wilson and finds him. Jesse Wilson doing plenty of hard running. Kick was intended there for Van Kerkhoff. Spill over the back. Anthony Mariani races in, fires at the goals, but he's off target, well wide in fact in the end. And a minor score there for Anthony Mariani. He gets to kick his first goal of the day.
Templestowe's leading goal kicker this season. Anthony Mariani has 38 of the best from the midfield.
Yeah, he kicked 5 or 6 against us, so yeah, very good player.
Very slick handball there from Ryan Bain. Big names for Templestowe certainly standing up so far in this match. Short passes on from the kick in. Jack Burkett takes it. Kick up towards the wing position. Lee struggling to get into this game. Went up at Deans at the back of the pack. Fell into his lap. We'll take that. Wantirna South just moving the ball up towards the wing now. Taylor Leggett had a shot on goal that he'll be ruining early in this term. It was an okay kick. You heard the size in the background, but Hutchinson was in position A and he's received a token 25-metre penalty as well. So he'll come up and kick from just outside the arc. Fantastic player. Spoke to him on the huddle this week. He'll kick from just outside the 50.
Good bit of it.
Long searching kick. It might have the legs. It does have the legs. And there's the first goal on the board to the Wantirna South Football Club. Just what the doctor ordered. Brad Hutchinson kicks his first. Wantirna South on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 23.5 minutes in. They are trailing by 26 points. Templestowe 6-3, 39. Wantirna South 1-7-13.
I think they need to quicken the play up now, Wantirna South. That's when they look their best. The faster the ball is moving for the Devils, the more dangerous they're looking. If they try and slow it down and hold on to the possession and gain back the ascendancy slowly that way, it just plays into the hands of the Dockers in the way Rick Irwin wants them to play their footy. So it's time to throw caution to the wind now.
26-point lead for Templestowe, but Wantirna South, crucial goal then kicked by Brad Hutchinson. And he's the man who pretty much will always will never let you down in the crucial moments. And that was the case on that occasion. Beautiful long goal from Hutchinson. two-time best and fairest winner at the Devils. Played in the 08 Premiership, hoping for another Premiership medallion this afternoon. That's a long way off at this stage. Massive pack of players around this footy. Teakle was the one who won it out. Thumping kick to a big pack. Brown, it was Badome who threw it on the boot. Badome's kick drifts across the face of goal and taken over the line then by Crome. Not a bad result for Wantirna South though. Boundary throw in deep in their forward line. They get the numbers around this contest. Barry won it down. Seppi, clearing kick up towards the wing, but it was nicely marked by Edgecombe. That's what he does so well. He rarely, if ever, drops a mark. Scott Edgecombe's kick carries over the pack. Paddock got a high one. Plays on. Bit of an underground kick. Gee, wasted a chance then. Matty Bain was steady for Templestowe. Neat kick to Semertzidis. Semertzidis shovels it out to Quinn. Alistair Quinn works through some pretty heavy traffic. Got it very short to Van Kirchhoff, and they didn't panic then, the Dockers. It wasn't all that clean, but it was effective.
Just need to take their time here for the last 5 minutes of the quarter, and should be in no rush. They should be happy with where they're at.
Matty Mariani goes very short, just concedes about 15 metres.
They get the tape measure out.
He's been good, Seppi.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He makes something happen every time he gets the football. His possessions are super dangerous.
Jordan Seppi touches it to the ground now, gets around the would-be tackler, which was Walker. Seppi's kick to the wing, grass of the target, carried over his head, but he kept his feet nicely. Little handball over the top to Anthony Mariani by the big man.
That's gone.
Strong tackle by Hutchinson, and a free kick will be paid. It will go to the Devils and Andrew Teakle to take it.
You're going to take on two opponents, you certainly should be pinged.
So Teakle probably needs to lift as well. Pretty quiet in their second semi-win 2 weeks ago. Hugs the boundary with the kick, and that's a bad mistake. He's put it out on the full. It was only by millimetres in the end, but nevertheless, the free kick will go to the Dockers. Stavropoulos floats the kick forward. It was a poor one, marked by Edgecombe. Scotty Edgecombe, certainly one of the Devils' better players in this first half.
You mozzed him.
Not a great kick by him, though, as Wilson takes the mark. Wilson finds Jamie Bain, elusive as ever. Bain's kick to a big pack. Ball spills over the back. The Devils will steady. Lee, who's always a cool customer. Neat handball to Teakle. That familiar sort of ungainly kicking style of Teakle finds the boundary line with the kick. It'll be a boundary throw in wing position here at Eastfield Reserve as Templestowe lead by 26 points.
It was a good result there from Andrew Teakle. Kicked it to a 3-on-1 in favour of the Dockers, but got the logistics absolutely perfect and the ball bounced out of bounds. It's another stoppage situation.
Well, deep into time on, Houghton went up unopposed in the end, but he palmed it straight down to Templestowe. Van Kirchhoff's kick, he was under pressure as he did it, so out of bounds on the full. Need a goal late to the Devils. Through the middle, Edgecombe, he's certainly doing his bit. Short passes on, he's turned it straight down towards Jamie Bain, who takes the mark, stretches towards goal, and he had a lot more time. He probably could have run in another 20 and put it through, but instead he puts through a minor score for the Templestowe Football Club. 6 goals, 440, plays 1 goal, 7-13. Gone 27 minutes now. Harkness to bring.
It's interesting, he always comes this way, so Templestowe know that. They've done their homework on him.
Harkness has a couple of bounces. Neat kick, finds Edgecombe. Yet another mark for Scotty Edgecombe, former captain of the club. Edgecombe's kick to the wing. Barry was the target, was looming large from 3 deep. Teakle crashes his way through. He's starting to find plenty of the football now, Andrew Teakle. But on this occasion, he's well held up there by Prestige Como.
The majority of this quarter has been played right out in front of us here on the broadcast wing. Not sure if that's a deliberate ploy from both sides.
Great, whatever. It's a good thing, however it comes about. As the siren sounds to complete the first half. And it was a first half that was dominated by Templestowe. 6-4-40 at Wantirna South, a 1-7-13 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It is the Dockers by 27 points at halftime.
Huge game out here at Eastfield Reserve this afternoon. The Division 3 Choose Tap Grand Final. A very handy lead from the Templestowe Dockers, who will kick probably towards the scoring end in that third term. They go in 27 points ahead of Wantirna South in what is a ripper clash so far. Matt Mariani and Jamie Bain both have 2 goals each for the Dockers. The single goal kicker for Wantirna South was Brad Hutchinson. They peppered the goals early in that term, Wantirna South, but Templestowe, they had the answers when they went forward. Who's going to be able to get up in the premiership quarter, the third term? We'll find out and go through what was an amazing first half from the Templestowe Football Club right after these messages on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Are you feeling like your man space needs something special? Club rooms need a little something behind the bar? Just want to spoil yourself and show off to your mates? Authentic Autographs is Australia's largest licensed and authentic memorabilia dealer across all sports. With a range second to none, Authentic Autographs is a one-stop shop for all your memorabilia needs. If there's an empty space on your pool room wall or you feel your man cave needs something special, contact David on 0439 743 710 or visit the showroom at 11 to 15 Westwood Drive, Deer Park.
What song would you like played at your funeral?
Oh, it's got to be A Long Way to the Top. Akadaka. Yeah, Just the Way You Are. Billy Joel. Love that song.
Oh, the Collingwood song. Good old Collingwood forever.
How about Return to Sender?
Music is a must at funeral services. Certain songs say so much about a loved one's personality and the defining moments of their life. The best way to ensure they play the right song at your funeral is to have a fixed price funeral plan. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals. Celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Good news, boys. It's 20% off to travel on Eastlink on weekends and public holidays with a car tag. So, with the money you'll save, you'll have enough.
Enough for what, Coach?
My birthday present next week. And I have my eye on some sparkly gold footy boots with some pandas on them.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
In sparkly boots.
Program sponsor.
For the best EFL rap on radio, don't miss Akira EFL Sunday from 10 till 12 every Sunday morning on 98.1 Radio Eastern. Ben Warren Smith and the team bring you all the final scores, goal kickers, best players and ladders following a big round of EFL footy. The gang also talk to winning coaches, players and special guests to bring you the final scores from all seniors, reserves and under-19s matches. Akira EFL Sunday, going live and local for your footy from 10 every Sunday on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
For all things EFL, The Huddle.
Good evening, Eastern Football League lovers. One of the punishments is you've got to get a spray tan the Friday night before a game.
Oh, nice.
Wash all the jumpers. And of course, he is Glenn Archer, and welcome to the program tonight. G'day, Glenn.
G'day, guys. How you going?
If it was up to Dino, he's winning the league DNF, our BNF.
How much longer we've got to see Stewie Wine going around in the Eastern Football League?
Probably about 1/4.
6 p.m. every Wednesday on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
For all the latest news and information on the Eastern Football League, make sure you check out our website, www.efl.org.au.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Yes, welcome back to East Burwood Reserve Ram Stadium. This is the Division 3 Choose Tap Grand Final. This is the Pie Shed halftime show, and the Bendigo Bank scoreboard looks like this. Very, very happy reading if you're a fan of the Templestowe Football Club. They currently lead this grand final 6-4-40 to Wantirna South 1-7-13. A pretty ruthless first half from the Templestowe Footy Club, Grant Campbell, thanks to Yarra Valley Choose Tap. What were the stats that mattered in that first half?
Well, in that second quarter, Templestowe continued their good work. They again won the clearances 11-7 after losing the hit-out 17-7. Templestowe had 58 kicks to 50. They were winning on the outside 41-30 in the contested ball. They're also winning the uncontested possessions 48-34. They won the inside 50s 15-13, and that was after Wantirna South started with 10 of the first 13. So It was 12-3 in the second half of that quarter. Marks inside 50 only 2 apiece. And looking at some of the leading disposal getters, thanks to Andy Paolacci, Van Kerkhoff had 10 for the quarter, Wilson had 8, Seppi 7, Matty Bain has 18 for the game so far. He's had 12 in the first quarter, 6 in the second. For Wantirna South, Papa, Edgecombe and Teakle all had 6 for the second quarter.
And Brett Davidson, you've joined us back in the studio for the Pie Shed halftime show. You were mentioning to me off air just before that you've never seen such average foot skills from the Wantirna South side.
Yeah, I mean, before the game we were talking about how good they were with their foot skills, Braden Harkness and these boys, but I think his first 3 kicks were all turnovers. Yeah, I haven't seen them not under any pressure, and I just think they lost their way structurally as well. That was the thing that probably hurt them. They didn't set up well in the first quarter, and in the second quarter, playing the big bloke down across the back half, it just didn't seem sensible to me. But that's why grand finals are funny games. It's you put under the pressure, you've got to make decisions, and they're pretty easy to make when you're sitting up here behind some glass. I can tell you that.
Absolutely, and one of our Lifecare boundary riders, Gav Casey, you've taken the seat up here next to me. What was the lockdown there at ground level in the first half? Because a massive crowd out here where you're really starting to feed off them, and surely fans from both sides are just buzzing at the moment.
Yeah, you can sense that Templestowe, they're gleeful because I think they understand that they are big underdogs, and any moment that it opens up for them, that's when their arousal, excitement levels gets going.
Absolutely.
You can still sense a bit of doubt through the cheering. As a lifetime Bulldog supporters, I know what that sounds like. You just don't think your team's going to go on with it, but they're really happy with how it's going because when it opens up, they are the ones look like they can get a goal. But at the contrary, the game is definitely in Wantirna South's grasp now. They've got involved in the stoppages. It's the execution, getting it out and around. They get lost looking forward and seeing all the purple in front of them. They need someone like Barry just to float forward, or maybe switch the quick switch and switch it around the arc a bit more because they really are getting lost at half forward.
They are, but I think to the credit of Templestowe, their movement into the defensive half was very, very good that quarter. They didn't allow Wantirna to switch at all. I thought that's one of the keys of Wantirna, their ability to switch. They have that double switch, which is very good. Tempe wouldn't allow that at all. And in fact, I think the twice that they tried it, it was basically cut off both times, and they had Jamie Bain had an opportunity to run into an open goal and missed it. So, I think that's where Tempe have been great, and even Wanty South winning the football like they did in that last 8-9 minutes, Teakle got really involved, but even then,
turning it over, isn't he?
Yeah, and they didn't look like they were actually doing anything with it.
Yeah, I think by that stage, Rick had already put the finger on the fact that A, you've got a 4 to 5 goal lead, and B, it was time for him to chuck 2 or 3 behind the football instead of just 1. So the game became even more locked down, and there was more stoppages towards the back end of that second quarter. And the more stoppage play that Templestowe get from here on in is certainly a positive for them.
But one aspect of defending and defending hard is that it's tiring, and I feel Templestowe have got a few bigger boys who are somewhat less fit than their opposition, should I say, and you can even sense by half-time that, they won't cover the ground as much. So I wonder if it's going to open up for Wantirna South, or conversely, the defence is just going to have such an impact that when the counter-attack hits, Templestowe are just going to put them to the sword. Which way do you reckon it's going to go, David?
Well, look, I think the thing that we can all give credit to Templestowe is that I don't think they're going to throw it in at any stage.
No.
I don't think you're going to see them suddenly drop away. That intensity, they're going to throw that intensity at the contest for the entire game. It's really up to Wantirna South to try and win this game now. It's not about anything. They've got to try and win this game. They've got to structure up a little bit differently. As I said, maybe put a big bloke down forward, just to change up the dynamics slightly. The dynamics have stayed the same that whole half. Maybe you've got to get rid of this floating the bloke at the back half. Even if they've got to play a 7-man forward line, maybe they've got to do that just to again try and get things back onto their own terms. Because at the moment, even though Templestowe didn't kick a lot that quarter, every time it went forward, they looked a lot more dangerous than Wanty South did.
And when have you been watching footy for a long time? When have you seen a side come back from 5 or 6 goals down, as this margin could seriously have been 5 or 6 goals with a big man behind the football or with extras in the back line? I mean, they can't allow that to happen. If Templestowe want to flood 2 or 3 back, Wantirna South just have to play an 8 or 9-man forward line because it needs to be even all the way across the ground. This is a side that finished on top of the ladder for a damn good reason, because they've got 22 blokes who are more than capable at this level. And they have to back themselves in one-on-one, Gav Casey. If Matty Clark can't sit there right now and back in his blokes one-on-one to make any inroads in this game against Templestowe, then maybe it might be a task too much already.
That's what he said at quarter time. He said, why are you guarding space? Because they've got their space around the the stoppage, they're the ones getting their hands on it. You've got to go get your hands on it. There's no use you just spectating because the game's there to be lost for that reason. But I just wonder whether Bedome is, as an option, has to be forgotten, and they need to switch it up, and they need to change the personnel, confuse the Templestowe players by putting someone else there, because they've really been cut off and ran off. Bedome has just been phenomenal.
Just listen to some of these numbers. 4 touches each to Lockie Gregg and Jack Burkett. That's probably not good enough from them. Jason Barry's had the footy 4 times. Sam McIntyre's had 1 touch. Andrew Gollins had 3 touches. Scotty Horton's had the 1 possession. Dan Bedome's had 2. Lang's had 3. Big Jack Deans has had 3. And Robbie Papp's had 1 disposal in a half of football. These aren't superstars by any stretch of the imagination, but these are the lesser lights in the Wantirna South side that so often in season 2014 have won them games of footy, Davo. So these guys need to step up, and they need to start having an impact on this game.
Yeah, look, and that's what you, as a coach, that's what you'd be saying, is that, you can't change what you've done in that half of football. What do you do now for the next half? And, each and every one of them be proud footballers. They'd all have an opportunity now to come out and play another 60 minutes of football. You talk about teams being behind and coming back. I think, we don't have to go too far back, and it's about 12 hours ago when we watched a side called Port Adelaide that looked completely out of the game.
Absolutely.
Turn the game around just by starting to get their hands on the football and playing the game that they know they can play. And I think that's what Wanty South have got to do. They can't, change everything up. No. Maybe tweak 1 or 2 things. You talk about the players that haven't had the football much. Maybe Goland, you put him forward.
Yep.
Maybe put him, because he's got that bit of a spark about him. You talk about Bedome. You can't have Bedome and Pap together. They're too similar. So maybe Bedome come off, start Pap for 5. Again, just little things that you've got to get Templestowe thinking, because at the moment Templestowe are controlling the flow of the game.
Yeah, and even Brent Walker's only had 4 touches, and you think if Wantirna South are going to kick the 15-20 goals that they probably need to put on the board to win this grand final, they're going to come from Walker, Pap, Bedome, those sort of blokes who just aren't getting their hands on the footy. And from a Templestowe point of view, we just want to touch on, they had a headache during the week, and then Rick Irwin ended up putting his boy Jackson back into the side as another on-ball rotation. Jackson Irwin hasn't had a hell of a lot of football. He's only had the 4 touches, but I think he's been pretty important in and around the clinches. He's been putting his body in. He won a couple of free kicks for some high tackles, and he's laying some tackles himself. It looks like they've gone the right way there, because 1 extra tall in the Templestowe side at the moment probably would change the dynamic a lot.
Oh, look, definitely, and he's a good runner. I mean, at the moment they brought young Brown in, who he's been an interesting selection. He's made some interesting decisions on the ground, but Jackson's a good runner. He's clean. He'll give 100%. And, the other thing is he's kicked some crucial goals in the last couple of games. Yeah. So, he's always an opportunist there.
But look at their goals. It's from Mariani, Irwin, Wilson. That's where they're going to win this game. You just sense that if, what was that late kick? Was it Irwin? Jamie Bain.
Yep.
If that went through, you just sense they know they can get them on the counter with quick pace. And if they got it, I reckon, it would have been nearly out of touch.
Well, you know that from Templestowe, the game plan is so far from just kick it along to Grasser, because there is no way that Rick Irwin or anyone from Templestowe are putting their eggs in a bag from Simon Grasser basket. I mean, it's just not going to happen. It's not how they've won their footy this year, and it's those guys, the goal-kicking midfielders in Bain, both Mariani boys, even all 3 Bains, in fact. So that's the way they're going to win this game. Alex Wadsworth was brilliant early across the half-back flank. Didn't need to do a lot of work in the second term, but he's already had 10 touches, and every time he gets the football, it seems to be from an intercept, and he seems to be setting up play going forward as well. So he's having a good game. And 2-3 weeks ago, when we were here the first time against Mitcham in the qualifying final, Davo, he had 2 touches, so he's responding well.
Hey, and look, and he's another player that you can actually push forward if you need. So, he's been good. I thought Seppi, is it?
Yeah, Seppi.
He's been outstanding across the half-back line, really good. Fiorenza hasn't done all that much today, and he was best on ground last week. So, both sides have got their players that are down a little bit. I just think at the moment that Templestowe's defensive structures around the ball have been outstanding.
Yep.
They've worked really hard. I think they've spread extremely well. They've been incredibly disciplined with the fact that they haven't allowed, as I said, Wantirna South to get any flow or switch the play.
Yep.
And if they continue to do that and work hard, they've got to. It's theirs to lose.
Absolutely, it is. You make your own luck, and they've made their own luck so far as both sides have re-entered the playing arena here at East Burwood Reserve. Wantirna South a couple of minutes before Templestowe. So the message, I know Matty Clark's coaching style well, and I think what the message you gave us at quarter time, Gav, where he was real filthy and he wasn't happy to use some words like pathetic and stuff like that. I think that's not so much out of character, but it's not a path that Matty Clark goes down all that often. Granted, Davo, it's not a path that he needs to go down all that often.
Yeah, look, but one of the things I noticed that he was scratching his head a lot. Now, he looked like he just didn't seem to have the answers through that half time, and you're right. He is such a cool, calm customer. He's very positive. It is all team first approach. You know, I reckon he may have just sucked it in, come in at half time. Hopefully he's spoken to him in the way that is really positive, and they can come out and play a little bit more competitive football this quarter.
He's got something to work with. That quarter, they were getting the hands on the ball. So now the confusion might, at half time, stop being confused. This is what you need to do when we've got the ball. Go forward with this manner. That's what the message would be now.
Absolutely spot on. Not too far away from a start here. Davo, thanks for your work again on the Pie Shed halftime show.
Not a problem, thank you.
Brett Davidson there and Gav Casey back down to the boundary. As our commentators just assume their positions again. Just to reiterate the score, of course, Templestowe 6-4-40. Currently lead Wantirna South 1-7-13, who at one stage was 0-7. So they did kick their only goal for the game in that second term, a 27-point lead to Templestowe. In a game like this where goals have been pretty hard to come by, shots on goal, uncontested shots on goal, in fact, they've been pretty hard to come by. Brad Henderson, 27 points. You wouldn't call it unassailable, but it's not too far away.
No, it's not. You're absolutely right, Seymour. It's not unassailable. It's a very handy lead for Templestowe, and it's reward for their hard work in that first half. And there's no doubt, I thought they were willing to work a lot harder than Wantirna South were, and it definitely seemed more hungry for the contest, so they've been rewarded for that. 6 goals 4, so they've been pretty accurate. Wantirna South obviously very wasteful with 1 goal 7, but maybe the fact that it's 10 scoring shots to 8 means that Wantirna South haven't been outplayed as much as it may seem, or as much as the margin would suggest. What do they have to offer in this third quarter, the Devils? Do they have it in them to come back from here?
They need to play shotgun footy. They just need to take risks, throw caution to the wind.
Certainly, I mean, a half of football to go, 27 points, so there's heaps of time left in this one as the final hour of the season for both these sides, and for Division 3 it commences. Umpire Jamie Beattie to get us underway. Throws the ball up. Big leap there by Deans, palmed it down to Walker.
Just lacked that first touch then. They need to get that on the first grab.
Just been a little bit fumbly today, Walker. Lee throws it on the boot, very high up and under kick. No mark taken. Wadsworth, who was great in the first half, got involved. Little handball was effective. They come out through Stevens. Stevens kick hugging the boundary, and Edgecombe takes it to the boundary line and over for a throw-in.
A smart option from Fiorenza went up in the marking contest there, wasn't able to bring the mark down, but the handball to the running man on the outside. They're just going to move the football forward at all costs now, Templestowe, because the more territory they can gain, the harder it's going to be for the Devils to come back and chip away at this lead.
Edgecombe got it out to Lee. Tim Lee's high kick to the wing. Papa was front and centre to the pack. Barry released the handball into the path of Papa. Papa's kick's a good one, and he finds Leggett on the chest. Taylor Leggett doesn't waste too much time.
It's too slow though.
Well, he does waste a bit of time in the end. He was pretty indecisive. Finally, he kicks it forward, and it was a little bit of a nothing kick really to the pocket. Forces a boundary throw-in. So a lot of indecision there from Taylor Leggett.
Well, as the mark was taken, there was about 6 players inside the arc. By the time he kicked it, it was about 14.
Boundary throw-in. Players around this footy. Van Kirchhoff got involved, got it to Brown. Brown was well tackled, and a ball up. It's just getting a little bit overcast now at the East Burwood Reserve. Up high, Kingma throws it up. Barry won it down to Papa. Papa dives on the footy. Bain shoveled it out to Fiorenza, who didn't have a big first half.
Yeah.
Paul Fiorenza played a mighty game last week. Clearly best on ground, we all thought, in our voting. That was Harris who got the handball away. Irwin's kick up towards the wing. Grass of the target in a 2-on-1. Favoured the Devils. Freeman shared it with Lee. Lee's careful kick basically just into open space. Mariani, or Van Kirchhoff, in fact it was, who wanted the boundary line, and finally over the line for a throw-in.
They started off man-on-man, Wantirna South, 7-man forward line, and we've straight away gone back to the old habits of the first half.
Third man up on the knockout for Templestowe. Anthony Mariani fumbled the football but went back after it. Handball to Stevens, ducked into a tackle. Umpire said play on, so good play there by Burkett. Eventually came out to Edgecombe. Handball out wide. Hutchinson inside the forward 50 arc. Good defensive play there, but Wantirna South, they'll try and square things up. Ilapari went in hard. Screaming for the free kick there was Brent Walker. Over the top. The umpire said play on. There's a good bit of play there. Comes out to Harkness now on the left boot. He set sail to about the 20-metre mark out. But Dome was in there over the back. Papa head over the football. He went straight into the lap of Alistair Quinn. I think he was very unlucky there, Quinn, to be paid a free kick against because, well, the head was over the football there by James Papa and there was nowhere else to really go. He was already in that motion. So it will be a kick on goal from Papa. Get to trouble the scoreboard, but not many have for Wantirna South. This would be a fantastic start for them if you could slam this one through. He starts it out right. It was swinging and then it swung back the other way. Helicopter punt style through for one behind. That's number 8 for the Wantirna South Football Club on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They moved to 1 goal, 8-14. Templestowe 6-4-40 as we cross down boundary side. Thanks to Lifecare, Braden Ingram.
BWS, huge news down here. Matt Mariani's just limped off. Might be a right ankle, not looking too good, so I'll keep an eye on it.
Keep a very close eye on that one.
Seppi takes the mark from the kick in by Bain. Takes his time. Very cool customer and measures the kick to Harris. Harris goes laterally now to Ryan Bain, who's covered plenty of territory from the kick out. Bain's kick up towards half forward. Wilson tries to run onto it with that usual endeavour and tenacity that we always see. Strong tackle by Lang. And not a bad result for the Devils because it looked dangerous, although free kick's gone to Matt Stevens. So the Templestowe get the free kick. Matt Stevens, he's a pretty big unit. He's pretty handy going into the ruck, can drift forward, play at either end. Bit of a swing man.
Big kick.
He's usually pretty long kick for goal, spot on. Very high kick by Matt Stevens, hangs it out to the left and never really looked like going through for a goal. Templestowe 6-5-41, Wantirna South 1-8-14, 27-point lead on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as it was at half-time.
It's almost as if he pushed for distance when he didn't need to push for distance then.
Got far too underneath it and just kicked it up rather than long.
Braden Harkness plays it to himself. It's the way you do it. Kicks it out towards the half-back line there. Pack forms. Irwin screaming for a free kick. Teakle over it. Stevens has him wrapped up in a tackle and will have a ball up across the arc. Let's cross down boundary side thanks to Lifecare.
Yeah, BWS. Matt Mariani's got ice on the left shin, so they're just holding on there. It's currently not strapped on. Their trainer's still keeping an eye on it.
Use if necessary. Andrew Teakle winning a free kick across the half-back line for the Devils. He'll kick it out towards the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It was a good kick. Mark's been taken there by Walker. Links up well in the middle of the ground now. Here's Deans on the left boot. Sends it up towards centre half forward. It was a big kick. It was up and under in the end. Leggett couldn't quite take the mark. Had a little bit of support there though. The kick goes in towards the dome direction and he comes out and takes the mark. An absolute river one. Will he judge the flight of the football? And as a forward, you have to play in front and he had space to move too. So big Dan Badome will go back and have a shot on goal.
That's where he'll get Alistair Quinn. He's not the quickest off the lead, big Humphrey Quinn. So Badome, he'll love a bit of a wrestle with Quinn. He'll enjoy that. But on the lead, Badome will have him more often than not, I think.
Hasn't kicked one today.
So Dan Badome on the left boot from the 50-metre arc. He keeps it straight to the last minute and it goes through for a behind. The crowd was cheering at home right to the death knock and through for another minor score. That's his second behind of the afternoon. They need him to hit the big sticks on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It is Wantirna South 1 goal 9-15. Templestowe 6 goals 5-41 as Seppi plays on again.
He does indeed. Seppi's long kick to the wing. Lapari was the target. Stevens at the back and he just fashions it forward a few metres. Alex Brown, in fact, it was then for Templestowe.
Have you seen his game, Brad?
I'll maybe ask Dean
No, I was just going to say about Seppi how he just plays on and, you know, all of a sudden the ball's on the wing. He does it so well.
Boundary throw-in. Strong tackle applied. I've liked his game, Seymour, but I think as BWS said in the second quarter, Alex Brown he's been a little bit untidy, lacked a bit of polish, but otherwise, played a good game for the Dockers coming into the side this week. Short pass then by Ryan Bain. Ant Mariani, the target, takes it to the line. I wanted to ask Dean if you could have Braden Harkness or Jordan Seppi find their way to South Belgrave, which one would you take?
There's 2 back pockets available, so we'll squeeze them both in.
Stavropoulos is all wrapped up. Strong tackle then by Howden. Who do you think's been more creative today, though?
I think Seppi. I think, he's a good kid and he's had plenty of the footy, I think.
Umpire throws it up. Burkett, well tackled then by Van Kirchhoff. And another ball up. Wantirna South are just not creating any run at the moment. It's very static for them. Hutchinson throws it on the boot. Bit of a kick in hope. Wadsworth with the spoil. This is Sean Young. Did really well. Fed it out to Walker. Lovely kick from Brett Walker. And he hits Leggett on the chest.
Must kick this goal.
Well, he's a lovely kick of the ball. Distance shouldn't be a problem for Taylor Leggett. And you're absolutely right, BWS. It's a massive kick. Needs to kick this goal, Leggett. He's already kicked one behind today. Thumps it forward. He's off target, minus score. And Taylor Leggett kicks his second behind. That is a critical miss.
So it'll be Seppi to bring the ball back in for Templestowe.
Maybe I could trade Seppi and Harkness and for Odermatt. I know he'll be listening.
He certainly is. He's just sent me a text, which I've got Brucey, our technician, right on top of. Van Kirchhoff on the right boot, kicks it up towards the half-forward line, bouncing football out towards the Wilson direction. Burkett was right there also, and over the boundary line it goes. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Inside 50s this quarter, 6-3 in favour of Wantirna South. Leggett already with 4 disposals and Brent Walker 5 this quarter.
12 minutes gone in the third quarter here. Templestowe loving every minute being eaten up here. Burkett got spoiled of the football. Van Kirchhoff's in there and he'll hand the ball back to the umpire. 41 plays 16, so a 25-point margin, a very handy buffer at the moment to the Templestowe Football Club. Scooped upon by Stavropoulos, a high up and under kick up towards the half-forward line. Burkett was underneath it, but cutting across and helping him out there was his teammate in Michael Jamieson. Tim Lee, sorry. Well, Jamieson, of course, unluckily missing out today.
That was a big call.
And one of the toughest, Matt Clark mentioned, that he's ever had to do is his driving kick goes up towards the wing position. The tallest man in the pack, Houghton, takes it.
Give it off, big fella.
Handballs it off now to Walker. One way, then the other. Squeezes the ball out wide. The kick goes up towards the half-forward line over the top there of Hutchinson, but he was quickly met there by Wilson. What a fantastic tackle that was. Just wrapped him up beautifully and rewarded as well. It's crossed down boundary side thanks to Lifecare, Braden.
BWS, Matt Mariani has his left leg strapped back up and he's on the ground.
So he certainly wouldn't have liked being sitting on the pine. Seppi has it in the back pocket. They'll create the switch out here to the Brown direction, Templestowe. Still in the back pocket, but on the grandstand side, over the top Comedian. He was paid the mark before he actually pulled it in, and he ended up playing on anyway. He must have felt guilty. Wadsworth backwards to go forwards to Seppi, and he'll switch to the outer side, Brad.
He does indeed. Seppi's long kick was a good one, and that's a great mark, terrific mark, floating in from the side then by
Simon Harris.
Yeah, Simon Harris, thanks Seymour. There's the kick by Van Kirchhoff, inside forward 50. Jamie Bain pushed to ground by
that's a free.
Freeman, holding on, the umpire says. Could have been in the back as well. And the free kick will go to Jamie Bain, who's kicked 2 goals today. Was that something of a surprise bonus for the Dockers, getting Jamie Bain back for this grand final? Seymour, I didn't think he was going to play again this year. I thought that was the consensus.
I think so. I think they didn't even expect him to take part in the final series at all. They gambled with him in the first final against Mitcham. Obviously, that didn't pay off. He didn't come on the ground after quarter time, so he's not going to get a lot of midfield time. I don't think he's 100% still, but a half-fit Jamie Bain in the forward pocket is better than no Jamie Bain at all.
Absolutely.
He's kicking over a goalpost at the moment.
Big Scott Howden standing the mark, which is good tactic. Jamie Bain's made no mistake though. 3 goals on the board for him, and now Templestowe 75-47. Wantirna South 1 goal 10-16. It is back to a 31-point lead for the Dockers on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
And they started back with Wadsworth, just instantly got the ball, switches to Seppi, and it's out the other side before you can blink.
3 times the score, Templestowe and Wantirna South at the moment, 47-16. It's a big lead. There's no doubt about that. It's again in the first few moments of this term, you felt Wantirna South had a fair bit of the play. They just couldn't put the score on the board, and Templestowe, well, they've got that bit of polish that they need in the middle of the ground. It starts again. Pye will come in and bounce it. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern. Horton got a fair old knock on in the end. Out in towards the path of Papa, who's tried his heart out today, Papa. He needs a few players around him to match his endeavour. Pye throws it up. Well, Horton nearly could have got pinged for holding the football then. Mariani back on the ground, got released to the football. Charging through there was Walker. Somehow threw it out wide. The umpire said it was a handball. Hitting the deck pretty hard, Daniel Crome will hand it back.
Now with the lead that Templestowe have got, they've have the luxury of playing to just 2-1 outs up forward, which not a setup they would have used for most of the season. So I'm sure Grasser and Jamie Bain will enjoy that. A bit of space to work with.
Well, Lipari's clearing kick. It bounds favourably there for Jamie Bain. Short passes on Anthony Mariani's made space and he takes the mark. 40 metres out from goal, directly in front. And I tell you what, if you ever thought the most important kick of the day would be at this point in time in the match for Templestowe, well, this could almost seal the deal, Seymour.
I'm not sure about that. Only halfway through the third quarter, BWS.
When you've kicked 1 goal and potentially 8, to kick another 8 goals just to get back in the match, I think it is incredibly hard.
Absolutely it is. There's no denying that, but you never say never.
He's gone back a fair way.
Anthony Mariani. There's never any doubt that he'd back himself here. And why wouldn't you back yourself? He might have squeezed this through. The pom-poms went up, but they're enjoying themselves nonetheless. 3 for a minor score. Wantirna South staying in this game. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 16.5 minutes gone in the third quarter of the Division 3 Choose Tap Grand Final. 16 plays, 48, Templestowe's favour.
There's all the Donny Heights Junior Footy Club boys behind the goals, breaking for Templestowe. It is their feeder club, so good to see the junior club getting on board.
Announced at 12 o'clock today after a vote, and now the Templestowe Junior Football Club. So a little bit of off-the-press news for you.
Brilliant news. That's been in the wings for the last 2 or 3 years. I'm glad it's finally happened.
So, boundary throw in. Harris wins it, grabbed it out of the ruck, was immediately tackled, and will get a free kick. Simon Harris.
The umpire just having a little tumble there.
The crowd love that, don't they?
They always do. Harris, very high kick, hoists it high to the square. 3-on-3 competition. Bain at the fall of the ball. Strong tackle.
That's a high.
Illegal tackle on Freeman. Got over his shoulder. And around the neck then against Jamie Bain. So, free kick for Jackson Freeman. I think he just gave a little backhander while Bain was tackling him.
He's feisty.
Bain pretty slow to get to his feet. Freeman's kick to the wing. Great marks. Good strong mark taken by Teakle.
Smallest man in the pack.
Andrew Teakle quickly wheels around, looks for McIntyre. McIntyre judged it nicely. Held the mark, goes very short with the kick. It was a poor kick, and it was a terrific mark by Fiorenza. That's what he does so well, Paul Fiorenza. Reads the play brilliantly across half-back, and safely pouched that mark. He's kicked on Wadsworth. Big fly from big Alex Wadsworth. He's making up for his quiet grand final last year when he was at Murrelbach. He's had a great game today. Looked for Grasser with the kick. McIntyre's hurt. Harkness all wrapped up by Jamie Bain, and Sam McIntyre still on the deck. Quick kick by Crone.
He got crunched by Grasser.
Deans has got the mark.
Kick from Crone landed in the arms of Deans, who goes short and puts it straight out on the full. And they just cannot afford mistakes like that at the moment, Wantirna South.
George Ioannidis, former skipper of the club.
Doesn't have a lot to go to. Wantirna South with 2 or 3 men in the hole.
Chips it up towards the Grasser direction. Well read there by Jackson Freeman.
The other side.
They need to create the switch. They need to do something different. He switches it out towards the Hutchison direction. Takes it across half back. Kick up towards the wing position. Floating ball, and nicely marked there by David Lang. He had the sun and the wind to contend with there. Swings around now on the right boot. Further afield, Papa.
Out on the full again.
Chipped it, well, he tried to disguise it just inside, but the umpire said no, out of bounds on the full. So Brown for Templestowe. It's like kick to kick out here, out of bounds on the full.
Should be a throw in if he never came back.
I think it might have. He might not have been going over the man on the mark. Both umpires are having a little bit of a chat at the moment, and they've decided that it will be a boundary throw-in.
If it never came back into the field of play, it can't be out of bounds on the full. That's my understanding of the rule.
That's why your comments are special, Seymour.
Extra special.
To bring the ball back in now. True centre wing position, Harris. Little fingertip at the back. Bain was in there. He might get a soccer off the ground there that was worth every bit of 45 metres. Tries to find out his brother, who's kicked a few goals already. Make that 3. Swings around now on the left boot. He tried to hit up Grasser. It might bounce up for the big man. Going after it. He's got Freeman right on his hammer. Bouncing football. One-on-one contest. Grasser eventually picks it up, and Freeman was right on his hammer. Brings him over the line. That was good football by both players. And over she goes. 40 metres out from the Wantirna South, from the Templestowe goal line.
It was obviously one of the boundaries from a long way out there, Simon Grasser disguised it very, very well.
That or a taxi.
Harris got a little fingertip on it that time. Bain, he played for the free kick, possibly. Van Kerkhoff, it somehow worked his way out of a telephone box. Little handball out wide. Matt Mariani couldn't scoop it in. Bouncing football, over she goes for another boundary throw in. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Inside 50s this quarter, 9-6 in favour of Templestowe. Contested possessions, 20 apiece.
Well, 32 points is the margin. Bain from the stoppage. This is Jamie, handball. Back to his brother there in Matthew inside. Another Matthew Mariani to the top of the goal square. Oh, Irwin couldn't quite pull it in. Van Kerkhoff again. Spilled the football. Nicely done there by Lee. He linked up wide out there with David Lang, who'll swing around on the left boot and kick it out into space because that was the only place to go. Walker's out there, so too is Commerdian for Templestowe. And Commerdian, well, he only wanted the boundary line. Players asking for deliberate, but to no avail. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 21 minutes gone. We're into time on in the third term of the Division 3 Choose Tap Grand Final. 16 plays 48. Templestowe have the lead.
32 points is the lead at the moment as Wilson sends it forward for the Dockers, but it's straight out of bounds on the full.
Seen a lot of out of bounds on the full today from both sides.
Yep, spot on. A lot more than you'd expect between the two best sides in the division. Braden Harkness, the recipient of the free kick. He usually uses the footy pretty well. Just kicks it down the line. And the mark's safely held then by big Jake Deans. Deans wheels around. Puts the ball out towards the boundary. And I don't think it's...
Wantirna South free kick, I think, for a push in the back.
They're going so wide into the forward line, Wantirna South. They've got to change things up a bit.
They are, and it's all very slow and static and safe at the moment. Hutchinson's kick was to a huge pack of players. No real chance of anybody marking that one. Ioannidis had his kick smothered. Stavropoulos runs onto the footy, belts it forward. Harkness is back there to safely hold the mark. Braden Harkness for Wantirna South. Keep the kick pretty low. Was a big spoil from Stavropoulos. And over the boundary line. Just not linking up well at all, the Devils at the moment.
Even then, Brad, they could have actually worked the switch right across the half back line, and all their players were in front into open space on this grandstand side. Some decision making just isn't on at the moment for the Devils.
It's an instruction maybe to try and combat the wind. That's the only sort of explanation I can think of. The second quarter, they came out right in front of us on the broadcast wing. The last 5 or 10 minutes has completely been played on the far side of the ground here at East Belwood Reserve. So maybe it's a ploy from Matty Clark, maybe it's not.
Umpire King has seen a free kick. It will go to the Devils. They wanted the advantage paid, but it wasn't.
Very stiff not to have that paid to David Lang too.
Absolutely. Comes back to Deans. Jake Deans sends it forward, but own the target.
Great roving.
Dockers will clear through Wilson. Wilson sharked the pack beautifully and puts the kick out towards the wing where
2-on-1.
Where Templestowe have a 2-on-1. Jackson Irwin gave a high one, and that was very untidy.
Got to come through the middle.
Deans is on. Just move the football.
Free kick to McIntyre. Goes short to Crome. Crome's high kick to a big pack. Fisted away there by Harris. And Commerdian almost takes a trip over the boundary line fence.
Sort of what happens in a big game where you're the favourite, you go in and things don't go your way and you lose your flair and you lose your ability to be able to use the ball well. Seems that's what's happening.
Yeah, it certainly is. Teakle there taken to ground. Sayanides, he doesn't know what the free kick's for, but it is a free kick to Andrew Teakle. Who will he go to? Goes very short. I don't know who that was to. It was to nobody. And in the end, it's lucky that it just landed inside the boundary line. Could call it a kick to touch, but I don't think it was intentional there from Andrew Teakle.
Once again going to the forward pocket. Umpire to bring the ball back into play. Front spot Fiorenzo got a fist on that one. Ball spills out. Prestigia Como there. Teakle might be able to get this one. Papa copped one for his troubles. Umpire was blindsided to it, so he'll throw it up on the 50-metre arc.
But they're winning their fair share of the ball. It's not like they're being outplayed. They're just not using it very well.
Just one goal scored for the quarter, though, and that's your typical classic Templestowe football, which means that as long as it's played, this game continues to be played on the terms of the Dockers. There's no way that Wantirna South can come back with the style of football that both sides are dishing up here.
7-6 plays 1-10, 32 points is the margin. It's a massive lead.
Something seriously has to change from the Devils' point of view.
We see Harkness going forward. He needs to do that a bit more often when he's the loose player.
Well,
there he is.
Pap won the knockout, charging through there. Walker, handball out wide, back to Pap, back to Lang on the right boot. Can he squeeze his one through? And helicopters away the front, and then running onto it there, Andrew Teakle gets boot to ball and puts through a very important goal for the Wantirna South Football Club. So they needed a little bit of luck. It didn't work to plan, but, well, the result was what they wanted. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 24 minutes gone in this third term. Wantirna South, hooray, they got their second goal, 2-10-22. Still 26 points behind Templestowe, 7-6-48.
It was good to see Harkness come down and get involved. He got about 15 metres off the contest and got involved and they scored.
Let's cross down boundary side thanks to Lifecare, Gav Casey.
Exactly right, Dean. The call was by the coach, just go forward. We need the numbers up there if we're going to score.
Huge pack around this ball. It will be another ball up. Umpire Andrew Gillies there to get us underway once again. 26-point lead to Templestowe. Boy, did Wantirna South need that goal. And Andrew Teakle stood up when it counted. Matty Mariani takes possession, has a bit of time.
Great kick.
Nice kick to his brother. We haven't seen him combine all that often today, but they did on that occasion. Anthony Mariani takes the mark, wheels around, looks for it. Jamie Bain. Bain at the back, goes to ground. Burkett stood his ground, did really well. Burkett kicks out towards the wing, and the mark safely held on the wing position there by Goland. Andrew Goland, ex-Nunawading player.
2-2.
Kicks to a big pack. Wadsworth was there for Templestowe. Brown in support as well. Brown dishes off the handball into the path of Ryan Bain. Bain just belts it forward. Burkett intercepts it for the Devils. He sends it back from where it came. Burkett's kick to half forward. Off the pack, Papa throws it on the boot. The ball trickles along the ground. Who can gather it in? Matty Mariani put his body over the footy. Dragged it in. The umpire says that was okay. Ball up.
Let's cross down boundary side thanks to Lifecare. Gav.
The second ruck for Wantirna South, Jake Deans, has just come off with a right ankle injury. He'll be taken now for his injury.
Oh, the kick goes forward for Wantirna South from the stoppage.
Another injury.
And on the three-quarter time siren, it is a 32-point lead to the Templestowe Football Club. Let's cross down boundary side. Gav Casey, another
Wantirna South of just another ankle injury. Taylor Leggett as just now on the bench, so there's two off within 30 seconds of the siren.
So it's a 26-point margin, I should say. Wantirna South, they'll be kicking to the scoring end in the final term. It was a one goal apiece quarter there, Paul Semertzidis, and well, we call it the third term, the premiership quarter. That really wasn't either side stepping their authority on the match in that term. But Templestowe, it's all about buying time for them now, and they need to hold on to the lead.
Absolutely right. The fact that there was only one goal apiece kick, which I think means that Templestowe certainly had the ascendancy for that quarter there. They didn't allow the game to open up, which is what was Wantirna South's only hope of getting back into it.
Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern. Jamie Bain has 3 goals for Templestowe, 2 goals to Matt Mariani, the star in the middle. Hutchinson and Teakle, the only single goal kickers for Wantirna South. That's right, they only have 2 on the board at three-quarter time in the Division 3 Choose Tap Grand Final. Templestowe lead by 26 points, 7-6-48. Wantirna South 2-10-22. We'll be back with the final 30 minutes of Division 3 football right after this.
If you plan to be cremated when you die, where would you like your ashes scattered?
Sorrento Beach at sunset.
The famed Flemington Strike. Just leave me on the mantelpiece facing the telly so I can watch the Mighty Hawks.
In the glove box of my 1951 FX Holden.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, you can celebrate your life in any way you wish. What you want done with your ashes, music to be played, donations to charity. Those and other wishes can all be set out in a fixed price funeral plan. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Own a smartphone and love the Eastern Football League? Then the EFL mobile web app is a must for you. Go to m.efl.org.au to access fixtures, results and ladders for all EFL grades. You can also receive live around-the-ground scores every Saturday afternoon right from the palm of your hand. And contribute to the mighty EFL forum while you're online. Download the EFL mobile web app to go live and local for your footy this season right from the palm of your hand.
For all things EFL, the Huddle.
Good evening, Eastern Football League lovers. One of the punishments is you've got to get a spray tan the Friday night before a game.
Oh, nice.
Wash all the jumpers. And of course, he is Glenn Archer, and welcome to the program tonight. G'day, Glenn.
G'day, guys. How you going?
If it was up to Dino, he's winning the league DNF, our BNF.
How much longer we've got to see Stewie Wine going around in the Eastern Football League?
Probably about 1/4.
6 p.m. every Wednesday on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Good news, boys. It's 20% off to travel on Eastlink on weekends and public holidays with a car tax. So, with the money you'll save, you'll have enough.
Enough for what, Coach?
My birthday present next week, and I have my eye on some sparkly gold footy boots with some pandas on them.
Get a race tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
In sparkly boots.
Program sponsor.
Are you feeling like your man space needs something special? Club rooms need a little something behind the bar? Just want to spoil yourself and show off to your mates? Authentic Autographs is Australia's largest licensed and authentic memorabilia dealer across all sports. With a range second to none, Authentic Autographs is a one-stop shop for all your memorabilia needs. If there is an empty space on your pool room wall or you feel your man cave needs something special, contact David on 0439 743 710 or visit the showroom at 11 to 15 Westwood Drive, Deer Park.
For all the latest news and information on the Eastern Football League, make sure you check out our website, www.efl.org.au.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Yes, thanks for joining us, as you certainly do go local for your football. This is EFL Game Day. This is the Division 3 Tuesday Grand Final between the Wantirna South Football Club and the Templestowe Football Club, and that was the premiership quarter. A goal apiece to either side sees the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Templestowe 7-6-48. Wantirna South get this 2 goals 10. 2 goals 10-22, so a 26-point margin to the Dockers at three-quarter time. Wantirna South that will be coming home with what's being described as a slight breeze, maybe 2 or 3 goals. But Grant Campbell, thanks to TUSAP, the stats that matter, I think they're getting more important now as this game goes on.
Boundary with Clarkey.
So we'll just leave that one there as we do head down boundary side. Thanks to Lifecare. Gav Casey's got Matty Clark.
Yeah, Matt Clark, Wantirna South. This is still winnable for you, so how are you going to do it?
We just have to get the ball out of the stoppage area all the time. They've really done well suffocating us, and disappointingly, our accuracy in front of goal has been poor today. So we just got to, there's a slight breeze going, but it's not going to do it for us. We're going to win the stoppage, and we've got to get the ball long and accurately through the goals. So it's 5 goals. We've had quarters where we kicked 10, 12, so it isn't beyond us, but our work rate at the stoppage is critical here.
First 5 minutes is crucial.
Yeah, it is. We've got to try and get the crowd involved a little bit and get us involved too. They'll try to suffocate. We know that, but we just got to roll the dice. That's what we are.
Good luck, mate.
Sharp work from you there, Gav Casey, but Grant Super Campbell will have another crack at that thanks to TUSAP.
Yeah, speaking of sharp work, the third quarter stats, Wantirna South had 45 kicks to 38. They won the contested ball 34-26. The uncontested possessions 27-23. They won the inside 50s 12-11. Those missed opportunities he's talking about, they've kicked 1 goal 6 from set shots, so had plenty of easy chances but haven't been taking them. The leading disposal getters mainly went Wantirna South's way. Walker had 8, Teacock 7, Harkness 6. Harkness up to 17 for the match. Certainly helps when you can kick it into yourself from full back though. For that quarter, Jamie Bain had 5 from Templestowe. Matthew Bain up to 20 for the match. Seppi and Van Kerkhoff on 18.
Sharp work from you there, Grant Campbell. Well, Dean Burnell, if you're a Templestowe supporter or a Templestowe person right now, the dream is looking very, very real. Do you see this one playing out the script, or are we going to see a fairy tale?
Oh, look, every time Templestowe scored, you've gone up, your hands have gone in the air, you've punched the air, just thrown you under the bus. But, oh, look, they've played fantastic, and, you know, Wantirna South have been disappointing, but they've only been allowed to play the style that Templestowe have wanted them to play. Yep. So, you know, full credit to them so far, but, you know, silly things happen. You know, Narry Warren and Cranbourne yesterday. Narry have won 2 or 3 flags in a row, lost 2 games in 3 years, and Cranbourne kicked 8 goals and beat them by 5 points. So things happen really quickly.
They certainly do. Not that we're interested in any other football other than the fantastic Eastern Football League, as the players just making their way back out onto the ground. Braden, Ingram, thanks to Lifecare. What was Rick Irwin on about at the 3/4 time huddle?
Oh, mate, he was about everything. He mentioned neurons. The players need to switch their neurons on in the last quarter. Covered everything, mate. He said they needed to run. They've done it all year. It's why they started training on November 18 and trade 3 nights a week. It's why they sprinted up hills. It's why they ran as hard as they could throughout the pre-season. He said, dare to run and dare to dream. 30 minutes, handball receives. They weren't good enough last quarter. Only had the 13, need to target 25. They need an indication of their run, and they only broke even that quarter. They really need to push home this defence as well. He said that they've got the best defence across all 4 divisions. They need to show up for 34 minutes and they'll be premiers.
This is it. You're absolutely right, Braden Ingram. It all comes down to the next 25-30 minutes of football for these two sides. There's an absolute throng of people, supporters from both sides, just slowly but surely making their way off the playing arena. The umpire's having a look around. He's ready to hold the ball aloft. The accurate one of the Eastern Football League. Brad Henderson, take us away for the last quarter.
Thanks very much, Paul. Semertzidis. It is umpire Clinton Kingma who gets us away for the final quarter of the season in 3rd Division, as the long kick comes out of the square from Stavropoulos. Big pack camped under it. Wantirna South will clear through Harkness. Harkness, the half forward. Golan, spoiled. Papa at the front of the pack, got a little quick kick forward. Teakle working hard against Semertzidis, the 2 veterans in opposition that time. And in the end, it was a 0-0 draw, really, because it'll be a boundary throw-in. 26-point lead for Templestowe. What can Wantirna South offer in the first few minutes? They need to start this last quarter in a blaze of glory. That was Young who won the tap down to Hutchinson. Edgecombe, can he get boot to goal? Yes, he can. Just what the doctor ordered, just what the Devils needed. Scott Edgecombe gets the first goal of the final quarter, and the margin is back to 20 points.
And how about the raising decibels? You can hear it almost at the start of the quarter, just straight away. The crowd are getting right into it. Gav Casey, thanks to Lifecare. Are they as loud as they sound down there?
That was the loudest cheer in the ground today, and yet they do know the huddle was huge. If they get the first goal, they're going to be up and about, and it's going to permeate through the whole side. That's what they were talking about.
Ball back in the middle of the ground. It may be game on here. It was knocked out towards the direction of Hutchinson. He couldn't quite trap the football. High will come in and bounce it. No, high tackle being paid. So free kick going to Daniel Crome. He's had a good game today, Daniel Crome.
Had a great season, Ben.
Kicks it inside forward 50, looking for Edgecombe. He kicked the last goal over the top of his head, bouncing football. Brown did well, paddled it to his advantage, dropped the football in there. Maybe it could have been pinged. It was nicely done there by Edgecombe. He squeezed to kick out, but the mark's been taken by Prestigiacomo, who was playing for a 25, but that's not going to happen. Very cheeky.
He's a wily veteran.
Very cheeky of Adam as he kicks it up towards the Bendigo Bank scoreboard area. On the fall of the ball, nicely done there by Irwin. Got the handball over the top. It was intended for Brown, but it was chopped off there by Baker. On the right boot, he sends it up towards the half-forward line. Bouncy football. They'll probably nearly want it to go out of bounds here. Wantirna South. Teakle hit it hard. Got the handball back to Walker. He'll go back to Teakle. He'll swing around on the right boot now. He'll kick it to the hot spot. Harris's hand was in position at the fall. The ball was scooped upon there by Young. He hasn't had a lot of it, but he wraps himself up and hands it back to the umpire, and we'll have a bounce. It's in Wantirna South forward line. It's deep. It's 20 metres out from goal. Can they conjure 2 in a row? Knockout there by Barry. Little handball on. It's still a live football. Edge comes in there. Commerty, and on top of the football, he's got to be careful here. Prestigiacomo comes in to lend some support, and we'll have a bounce about 3 metres out from the behind line.
Great job, El Comedian. Just dives and chucked himself on the football, stopped the foray forward.
They're really well set up here. Wantirna South behind the ball. They've got guys everywhere.
No, the kick from the kick from Wadsworth that time wasn't that too crash hot as Baker takes the mark. He spears it in, and a great mark, Brad Hutchinson. He's been paid that. So about 40 metres out, he'll go out. It was a one-bite grab, and he'll have a shot on goal for his second of the afternoon.
Yeah, it looks like the jitters are slowly maybe starting to creep in for Templestowe. An uncontested mark dropped by Harris before, and that was pretty loose from Templestowe. And a forward line that was that congested to still leave space in front of Hutchinson.
Hutchinson shoots towards the goal. That's an absolute cracking kick off the boot. Wantirna South have the first two of the final term, and it is officially game on in the Choose-Tap Division 3 Grand Final out here at Eastfield Reserve. Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we cross the 7-minute mark of the first term, and it is Templestowe still leading 7-6, 48. Wantirna South, they're coming, 4-10-34.
Yeah, Wantirna South there, they just had 3 or 4 guys lying behind the ball.
It's crossed down boundary side thanks to Lifecare. Gav Casey.
Just an injury update. The ruckman Deans, he's sprained his ankle, so he's gone. But Taylor Leggett has a strain, and the trainers are hopefully he'll get back on.
14 points the margin now. Templestowe lead by, but Wantirna South, they are charging, and finally they're starting to play some good football. It's taken 3 quarters to get there. Free kick this time goes the way of the Devils to Big Howden. Scott Howden launches it forward. Big pack at home with 3 deep. Quinn there as well. And I think Templestowe, they'll manage to force a ball up. 14 points, the deficit. Umpire throws it up. Barry won it down, but it was straight into the hands of Semertzidis. Gave it to Van Kirchhoff, to Presta Giacomo.
Well done.
To Wilson. Wilson arched the back. Good kick. Kicks it to Irwin. Irwin in space takes the mark. Quickly moves the ball on now. Darcy Irwin. It's to a one-on-one contest. Burkett was there for Wantirna South. Anthony Mariani was there for Templestowe. Nice smother by Burkett of the Mariani handball. Great strong tackle. The ball spills loose. Teakle feeds it out. Got it to Baker. Baker was dumped. It's a free kick, and it's which way is it going? Holding the ball.
Yeah, dropping the football there. So
incorrect disposal against Ryan Baker. He was strongly tackled and didn't get boot to ball, so the free kick goes to Alex Brown, who goes very short and finds Matthew Bain.
Be crazy not to have a ping from here.
Oh, absolutely. Slow the clock down, take 30 seconds off it. There's no better chance to kick a goal than an uncontested shot.
He's ignored your advice, Seymour. He's gone short, didn't waste any time, and it hasn't paid off. Wantirna South should
that was a throw from Chrome there.
Lucky.
It was a throw from Chrome.
Well spotted, yeah. The free kick will go to the Dockers. And again, the umpire right on the scene paying that one. Had the perfect view of that one, Clinton Kingma. And the free kick will go to Darcy Irwin, who has kicked 1 goal today, but it was much easier than this one will be, Seymour.
It was. He's a cool customer. He knows what it's like in the big games. He's a former Druin Hawker. Spent some time at the Casey Scorpions now, playing under his old man and absolutely loving it.
It's usually a good kick of the footy. Darcy Irwin, can he steady the ship here for Templestowe? It comes back, but not enough. Hung it out to the right, and a minor score. Templestowe 7-7-49. Wantirna South 14-34. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Harkness plays it to himself and then kicks to the Houghton direction. The big man stands tall. He wasn't paid the mark. It was very stiff there. Picked up by Burkett. Was in a lot of trouble. Handball over the top. It comes out to Walker. He tries to keep it in. That was clever. On the right boot. Squares it up nicely there to Hutchinson. He might be able to go here. His kick was half smothered. That wasn't crash hot. Edgecombe goes in. Wrapped up in a beautiful tackle by Wadsworth. Unrewarded. The Templestowe faithful filthy. But it was a fair tackle, and we'll have a restart on the true centre wing position.
Yeah, the Devils supporters in front of us were filthy that it wasn't paid a high tackle as well.
Higher throws it up. Teakle overran the football, picked up there by Presta Giacomo, linked up well there with Stevens inside forward 50. The ball goes, it sits up over the back. Harkness will be able to mop up as he's done a lot so far today for Wantirna South. The short passes on Stavropoulos. Well, he put his body on the line and did a fantastic job to create the spoil. Over she goes for a boundary throw in 50 metres out from the Templestowe goal line. 7-7-49, plays 4-10-34. Pye throws it back in. Houghton had the front spot. He's won a lot of the football today. Stavropoulos, little handball looking for Jamie Bain. It was picked up there by Hutchinson. Scoops it away into the middle of the ground. It sits up there for Walker. Bangs it on his boot, but he probably should have looked where he was going. Greg was going to be the only player to meet it over the top there. Goal, and can it sit nicely for him? He caught one for his troubles. He might be able to swing his one back. He's stuck at home. Wantirna South that 3 in a row. What a fantastic goal. And look at the boys get around him. Bendigo back scoreboard as we cross the 10-minute mark of off the final term. 5 goals, 10-40. It's a 9-point ball game, 7-7, 49 grand. Campbell, I'm excited. Thanks to Choose Tap, match stats.
Wantirna South had 31 inside 50s for their first 2 goals. This quarter they've had 6 for 3 goals, so that efficiency's been the big difference.
Alex Brown just copped the stiffest of dodgy bounces, then just went at right angles straight over his head. But you make your own luck in footy, and Brent Walker, that kick-off half-back was fantastic.
Well, Andrew Golan, he was a hero 2 weeks ago against Mitcham in the second semi. He kicked 2 great last quarter goals. He's kicked a goal here as well.
Stavropoulos' clearance work at this quarter and after half-time especially has been absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, he's played a huge game today. Shares it with Ryan Bain, and now it's Wilson. Jesse Wilson on the wing for Templestowe. Wants to slow things down. The margin just 9 points now for Templestowe. The kick by Wilson. There's a free kick. And umpire Jamie Beattie's seen some holding on, so the free kick will go to the Devils with David Lang. Very talented youngster. David Lang gives it all he's got with the kick to the wing. Lots of players underneath that one. Ball was fed out by Papa. Short pass was on, and Walker takes the mark. All on his own. Brett Walker, go back. It can line up for goal number 40 of the season for him.
Yeah, just snuck out of the back there.
They've really flicked the switch.
Just a bit of letdown in communication from Templestowe's back half.
Oh, he hasn't kicked one. He hasn't kicked one so far today, Walker. He's usually pretty dead eye. The goalpost shakes a bit, but it is a goal. Walker has his first. Wantirna South have brought it back to just 3 points the margin. Unbelievable scenes here at East Burwood.
Well, they've got all the momentum, Seymour.
Yeah, well, now that only playing 1 game of footy in 3 weeks certainly comes into effect now. They're going to have the fresh legs. The Templestowe midfield just looked to be absolutely stuffed after playing 3 tough games of finals football in 3 weeks. So the fresh legs, the Dockers really need to dig deep now, find something special.
3 points is the margin. The Devils haven't led all afternoon. Greg tried to barge his way through. The umpire said it was an okay tackle. Anthony Mariani was right there, as was Lapari. Can hear the crowd really getting to this. Our Lifecare boundary riders will be soaking up that atmosphere as Houghton goes up against Stevens. That time over the back, we'll get that one to Stevens. Running over the football there was Teakle. Putting his head over the ball also was Daniel Crome. We'll have a bounce.
I'm not sure, BWS, if Matt Bain's injured or not, but he was killing him in the first half, in the back half, and he's sitting in the forward line at the moment. He hasn't moved. So
yeah,
I'm not sure.
It's a very good call, Dino, as the ball goes in towards that direction through Jamie Bain's legs. Bouncing football. Jackson Freeman overrun it. Here's Jamie Bain. He'll go after it again. He's just got to get a handball out somehow. Harkness is right on his hammer. The ball's still alive. Harkness gets it, boots it out of that danger zone, but the players out there in favour Templestowe. Here's Anthony Mariani. One way with the other. He lost the football though. Well done there by Lachlan Burkett, and he was rewarded with the free kick holding the football. So the kick will continue on towards the wing position. Knock over the top there, and over she goes for a boundary throw in. This game has really come alive today. That was Matty Stevens getting a fist on the ball right near the Templestowe bench. We'll have a boundary throw in. 13 minutes gone.
Oh, thrilling stuff out here at East Burwood. Boundary throw, and it's fisted straight back to over the boundary line, which is where we go now, with thanks to Lifecare.
Brad, the atmosphere down here is electric. The Tempe fans trying to lift their side over the line. Rick Irwin keeping calm down here at the moment, but their blood pressure levels probably through the roof at the moment.
Thank you there to Braden. Ingram, boundary throw in. Matty Mariani was stripped to the footy. The pressure's unbelievable at the moment. Teakle got it out. Little handball went nowhere. Fiorenza to Matty Mariani. What a tackle by Scott Edgecombe.
It was high. It was tough, but it was high.
Free kick paid against Edgecombe then. High tackle to Matty Mariani. Right in front of the Wantirna South coaches bench. Matty Mariani's kick to a contest, 1-on-1. Stevens kept his feet well. He claims a free kick.
He played for it and got it.
And he did make sure the umpire saw it. He accentuated the contact, which was there. And the free kick goes to Matt Stevens. What can he do here? He's usually a thumping kick of the ball. It likes to go pretty well short to a pack. Not a good option. And the mark safely held back there by Walker. All the big guns from Wantirna South are standing up when it counts now in this last quarter, including Brent Walker and Brad Hutchinson, but Hutchinson this time drops the mark over the boundary line once again. That's where we go, thanks to Lifecare with Gavin Casey.
in Haynes has had to give a chop out to Houghton, so he's going to do it, and he's done the damage.
Boundary throw-ins. Apologies for a few technical difficulties there in the audio as Matty Mariani takes possession, throws it on the boot. Bit of a floating kick. Who can get to it first? It's a race for the footy. Free kick goes to Freeman for the Devils. He will clear for Wantirna South. Big high up and under kick to centre half forward. Edgecombe flew for it. Hutchinson was at the fall of the ball. Papa there as well. And it will be a ball up with thanks to Choose Tap, Grant Campbell.
Yeah, Matty Bain had the 18 disposals in the first half, just the 3 in this second half. Walker already with 6 disposals this quarter.
Well, over the top, Barry to Teakle, one way then the other. The kick was touched off the boot. The umpire called play on, I thought, but Wadsworth takes it and he's been paid it. So off the side of the boot, Templestowe, they'll get a chance to get it out of that danger zone. The kick goes up towards Matt Mariani. Irwin at the fall of the ball. This is Darcy. Picked it up, eventually copped one high, and he receives a free kick. It was there.
Just need a bit of composure here, Templestowe, just to soak up a bit of pressure.
Yep, it's going to be clean.
They haven't coughed the lead up yet, so just to keep possession of the footy for a couple of minutes and slow it down.
Seppi takes the mark. He's got to be good with his disposal late in this game, and he's turned the ball over. Short passes on. Golan takes the mark. He could nearly cop 25-metre penalty here, and I think he's going to receive it. Unnecessary play there by Jackson Irwin. Crowd, as you can hear, are certainly getting into this game. Walker puts on the lead, but Dome's there over the top of his head. Fiorenzo needs to sit up for him. Got a handy fist on it. Van Kerkhoff read the football, had a bounce, and now he takes off. He might be able to create a switch here. Kicks it in towards the middle. That was good play. Now the switch is on. Out wide it goes towards the Bain direction. This is Ryan. Slows things down. Brown was over the top. Lipari still screaming for it out on the wing position. That's the way you've got to go. He does it now. Takes the mark. Lipari back to Bain. His risky kick into the middle of the ground. Nearly a free kick could have been paid. They didn't want the advantage. Eventually Van Kerkhoff did, but it was too late. Yeah. Ryan Bain, free kick.
They rotate very heavily, Templestowe, so I'd be surprised if they slowed up at all.
Short passes on in the middle of the ground. Quinn. It was an open forward line a kick ago, and now it's pretty congested, so he might go sideways here. Goes out wide. Wadsworth takes the mark. There isn't a player behind him at the moment. Into the middle of the ground, Harris. He might be able to take off here, the big man. He may as well. He does. He thumps it inside forward 50. It's going to drop about 30 metres out at the back of the pack. Nicely done there by Barry. He released Jackson with a good handball. On the left boot, he drives it up towards the wing position, but standing in position A and on the lead was Matty Bain, the man who we wanted to get back into this clash. He was super in that first half. Short pass on to Seppi, whose disposal let him down only moments ago. He is a player that needs to stand up in this last quarter. So important. Just pops it up to the half-forward line, and he really just poked at it, and not a great kick. Ball still alive. Short passes on. Hutchinson takes it down low, laying in front of Lipari.
Just get the feeling that the Dockers are hanging on rather than trying to win the game.
Hutchinson plays screaming for it across the half-forward line. There's a pretty big pack, so that's the way he might go towards the Walker direction. He flew from the back of the pack. Matty Bain scooped upon it, gave it to Seppi, who was on his wrong side, so he handballed it to Quinn, who just popped it up into no man's land. It was a risky kick. Darcy Irwin was the target, and he's copped a push. And it was Tiggy Touchwood at best. Don't you worry about that. And he'll receive the free kick for Templestowe. Kick goes into the middle of the ground. No one really wanted it, did they? In the end, it might sit up for Papa here. It'll go that way. Fiorenzo Sioannidis was the man who wrapped him up in a tackle. And all of a sudden, we've got a ball up across the half-forward line for the Wantirna South Football Club. Currently trailing this game by 3 points. Final 10 minutes of the Division 3 Choose Tap final series. Who's going to win the grand final? It's knocked down to Lee. His kick was smothered by Bain. That was good play. Players going in after it. Van Kerkhoff copped one almost in the back, but it was fair. And the umpire says, let's bounce it once again, 48 metres out from the Wantirna South goal line.
Yeah, they've got Wantirna South, they've got 3 guys behind the footy at the moment, so it comes out, it'll become
quick ball kick by Baker, but Dome got down low and he was there and he's going to get a push in the back. Wantirna South a chance to get in front for the first time this afternoon. Both players hit the deck, Community and Filthy, but he just needs to be careful. You don't want to give away those 25-metre penalties. So Dan Badome.
Hasn't kicked one today.
No, he's a few behinds to his name.
Paul's taking the headset off.
This is what he needs to do, the big full forward. They've needed him to kick a couple already today, and he wasn't able to do it. To put them in front, the big full forward, it should be bread and butter. Listen to the crowd, and he puts it through. Burnell puts Wantirna South in front for the first time this afternoon. 20 minutes into the final term of the Division 3 Choose Tap Grand Final. And on the Bendigo Bank score was 7-10-52 Wantirna South, 7-7-49 Templestowe. What a fantastic final quarter performance so far.
I'm surprised that Anthony Mariani hasn't been in the middle for very many ball-ups today at all. So he's a great clearance player. I'm surprised he hasn't been in there.
Well, he hasn't kicked a goal until then. What a time to kick his first of the day, Daniel Braden, and Wantirna South take the lead. 3 points, the deficit. Out of the middle, Matty Mariani gets the clearance this time. Quick handball out to Chrome. Long kick by Chrome to a one-on-one. Ball spills over the back. Semertzidis takes possession now. Hands it off to Quinn. Quinn's kick looking for Jackson Irwin. Irwin had to stand tall against a number of Devils then. It was about 4-on-2 really, and there's a tackle there from goal, and umpire Gillies there right on the scene says that was fair.
They did real well to force the stoppage there, Tempe. They were outnumbered 4-on-2.
Decisive ruck hit out win that time by Howden, looking for Baker. Semertzidis with the tackle and over the boundary line. So it will be thrown in once more. In fact, balled up just inside the boundary line. Hard up against the boundary now. Expect the throw-in to result from this. That's exactly what will happen after Semertzidis had his kick smothered. With thanks to Choose Tap, Grant Campbell.
Wantirna South dominating the ruck, leading the hit out 16-5, but losing the clearances 10-7.
Anthony Papa takes possession. He's all wrapped up. High tackle over the shoulder. And Jackson Irwin, I reckon he's conceded about 3 free kicks in this second half at pretty crucial times. So Papa will go back and line up for his first goal of the day. So he too has been goalless until now, which is surprising. He is a regular goal kicker.
He deserves a goal.
Certainly does. And he was one of the few guys for the Devils who was still playing pretty well when the rest of the side were really floundering early. Anthony Papa. Don't think he'll get a... Oh, he will get a goal with that kick. It was a real up and under kick, but it just had the legs on it to go through. And Wantirna South now lead by 9 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Crowd are going nuts.
Who would have thought Paul Semertzidis?
No, not you. You said the game was over halfway through the third quarter, but there's always a flicker there for the Wantirna South Footy Club, and they've just been relentless and ruthless here in the third term. Now, back to the drawing board for Rick Irwin. Where did Templestowe find the spark from? It just seems they're getting left behind here at the moment. They're running on the spot. They're tired. They just need a goal to lift the spirits, get some sort of momentum back.
Well, Matty Bain drives the football inside the forward 50, looking for his brother Jamie, hitting the ball hard. There was Jack Burkett. He's not going to release that football. It was like a rugby scrum, and we'll have a bounce centre half forward there for Templestowe. Bain just getting tripped up there. I said, give me a little bit of space. Need to restart this match. Holding from the ruck contest or off the football. Stevens is going to get this. Van Kerkhoff was off then too. No advantage. So perhaps a little bit stiff. Stevens inside the forward 50. The kick was a good one. And Templestowe will have another chance. Take a breath, Seymour. Darcy Irwin goes back and will have a shot on goal to kick his first major of the afternoon. Second major of the afternoon, I should say.
Smart from Stevens, that didn't blaze away. Hit up the short target and a good lead from Darcy Irwin. All about the finish now.
Must kick this goal, Darcy Irwin. That is a ripper kick. Is it holding its line? Oh, unbelievable. The crowd cheered at home as they have most of the day. And through for one behind. Let's cross down boundary side. Thanks to Lifecare, Gav Casey.
You can't pay it for a second umpire coming in.
Harkness went very short then to the back pocket. Devils out of defence now through Baker. Baker's kick to the wing. Big fly from Quinn. This is Wilson. was all wrapped up.
Super.
Still got his kick away. That was well done. Got it to Irwin, off to Ant Mariani. Mariani's kick to his brother Matty. Off to Sayanides. Sayanides' kick was smothered. Great effort by Harkness. And he forces a ball up. Terrific footy then from Braden. Harkness. Sayanides looked to be in the van, but Harkness there right in the nick of time with a decisive smother. Moments like that can win your premierships. It's an 8-point lead at the moment for the Devils. Umpire throws it up. Howden, the big man mounted in the ruck, who has lifted in the second half. He needed to. And it will be another ball up. Ball really didn't travel any meterage at all that time. Papa cops a high one from Wilson.
He's been fantastic, Wilson.
That was fair.
A good kid.
He's been terrific again, Jesse Wilson. As has Papa for Wantirna South. Out of the pack, the kick came clear into open space. Walker sat nicely for him, throws it on the boot. Barry attacks the footy. Dockers have the numbers. Brown sold himself into a lot of trouble. Got the handball out, but it was to the opposition player, but he was under plenty of pressure then, Bobby Papp, and it will be a ball up. So Barry this time wins it down. Teakle throws it on the boot. Intercepted by Seppi. Nice game by him this afternoon as well. Kick by Seppi was intended for Irwin. Didn't sit favourably though for Darcy. Handball was shovelled out into the path of Baker. He's under pressure from Mariani. Strong tackle. It's a great tackle then. The umpire just lets him play.
Oh, that's in the back.
Swallows the whistle. Now he pays a free kick for a push in the back. And it goes to Matty Mariani. Mariani floats it forward. No mark. Ball spills over the back. Lee shoveled out the handball to Teakle. Handball was effective. Can they keep their composure here? The Devils in defence. Irwin works his way into the contest, won the footy, got it out to Matty Mariani, and it will be a ball up. It is frenetic stuff here. 25 minutes and 20 seconds gone in the final quarter out here at East Burwood.
Can't expect it to be a long quarter either as the umpire throws it up. Mariani's in there. Prestige Como over the top laying a tackle, and it's still in that Dockers forward line. 8 points is the margin. They need 2 goals to get up in this Division 3 Choose Tap Grand Final. What a final quarter it's been by the Devils. Houghton got the knockdown over the back. It was picked up there by Baker, dispossessed of the football, charging through there. Bain almost got his head knocked off. I said it was fair as time on's been called. 50 metres out from the Templestowe goal line. What a second half it's been by Wantirna South. They kept themselves in touch, trailing at three-quarter time. Papa came in, got boot to ball out towards the wing position, and a strong mark's been taken out there by Pap. He really needed to stand up there. It was an important kick. He'll swing around on the left boot now, kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Barry is the target there, but Dome was at the back also at the fall of the ball. Seppi, he needs to be clean here. Short pass up towards the wing position. Who was that to? It went straight down Pap's throat, so he stumped it in, and the siren's gone! It's all over, Wantirna South. What a comeback it's been! Premiers in Division 3 for season 2013. Well, the Devils who trailed at every change from go to woe. What a powerful performance it was in the final term, and a deserved victory by Matt Clark and his men. And look at the crowd get amongst it. The Templestowe fans don't know what to do. The Wantirna South fans, what jubilation, what a fantastic season they've had. They got the double chance, and hats off to everybody at the club.
6 goals straight, 2 behinds in the final quarter.
Amazing scenes out here at Eastfield Reserve as a sea of green and white just heads out into the ground. I can't wait to have a chat to, well, whoever the Lifecare boundary riders can get a handle on down there, because, well, a lot of people, Dean, throughout the game would have written Wantirna South off, because Templestowe really had control for most of the afternoon.
Oh, they sure did. They'll be bitterly disappointed. They were fantastic all day, and to get overrun like that, I know that Rick and his mob will be really bitterly disappointed. But to Wantirna South's credit, in every game, it doesn't matter if it's a grand final or not, the opposition get a good, they get a bit of a run on. You can't beat someone for the whole day, and just unfortunately for Templestowe, when Wantirna South had their run on, it was all too good, and that's why they finished on top, and they were favourites today. And congratulations to them.
Well, what an unbelievable last quarter by Wantirna South. 6 goals straight in that final term. Templestowe could only manage 2 behinds, and I don't know if it was the week off Seymour that contributed to that, with Wantirna South finishing full of running, but Templestowe, I just think they did go quite cautious in that last quarter. They stopped playing to some extent the way they'd played earlier in the day. They became quite tentative. And unfortunately, at some crucial moments, that skill level came undone, and so, we saw some mistakes, and that just let Wantirna South back into it.
I think you hit the nail on the head. It was that 2 weeks off that Wantirna South had. They just ran past them in the last quarter. Templestowe, some of the midfielders looked to be running on treadmills. They just couldn't move. They couldn't get their up and going. They were absolutely knackered. They were stuffed. They worked so hard for 3.5 quarters, for 3 quarters this game of football, this grand final, and for a lot of it looked like they would be going back up to Division 2. But full credit to Wantirna South. A side like that, a club like that, coached by a man like Matty Clark, just doesn't roll over, and they were never going to roll over. So 6 goals to none in the last quarter. Well, I'm stunned, but full credit to the Wantirna South Football Club. A thoroughly deserved premiership.
Just quickly run through the goal kickers today for Wantirna South. Brad Hutchinson was their only multiple with 2, 1 each to Anthony Papa, Scott Edgecombe, Andrew Goland, Andrew Teakle, Brent Walker and Daniel Badome, while for Templestowe, Jamie Bain kicked 2, as did Matty Mariani, 1 each to Darcy Irwin and Simon Grasser, and also Jesse Wilson kicked 1 goal as well for the Dockers. Unbelievable performance in that final quarter. For 3 quarters, Templestowe were fantastic. You really couldn't fault them today for the first 3 quarters. Wantirna South, they seemed listless, and they just didn't seem up for the contest for certainly the first half. They started to work their way into it, I thought, late in that 3rd quarter. Just started to show some a bit of a pulse. But the way they started that last term, started off with that goal through Scotty Edgecombe, and from there they just finished full of running.
And that was massive, and I think the fact that only took 45 seconds to a minute. If that had taken 5 or 6 minutes, and maybe the sting might have gone out of the quarter early on, but the fact that it happened so early, and they got the 2nd and the 3rd pretty quickly after that, they're always going to be hard to stop. And I think, Brad, that early in that last quarter, I think the writing was on the wall pretty early that Wantirna South would come home certainly far stronger than Templestowe would.
I thought it was interesting. We heard Matt Clark say when Gavin spoke to him at 3/4 time, they've got to get the crowd involved. Well, that first goal from Edgecombe, it got the crowd. All of a sudden, the noise was unbelievable after it had been pretty sedate all day up to that point.
Absolutely right. As we're not too far away from starting the medal presentations, at Wantirna South boys on the far side of Eastwood Reserve here, belting out the song already. Well, the Templestowe boys, they just it's always the other side of the coin on grand final day, Dino, and it's just, it's never good to see blokes, grown men on the verge of tears, looks of despair on their faces. They know that chance just went straight through the fingers then, because for the majority of this game they were the better side.
Oh, they were. They controlled the footy in the first half. They controlled the whole game, and Wantirna South were lucky to be even 3 or 4 goals down, or maybe even 5 goals down at half time. But like I said before, when a good side like Wantirna South gets a roll on, it's just a matter of trying to stop it. And unfortunately, we don't have timeouts in game of footy, and I'm sure halfway through that quarter Rick would have loved a timeout, but you don't have it. And before you know it, the game's over, and Templestowe got to lick their wounds. But full credit to them.
Boundary.
Braden Ingram, thanks to Lifecare. Sorry to cut you off there, Dino. He's got a special guest down there, Brado.
Yeah, I'm Brian here, mate. I'm with Daniel Badome. Hopefully you can hear me. There's players everywhere. It just stinks of beer. They're handing out, the players are handing out their medallions to the senior players. You kicked the one front. That's a sensational feeling. Congratulations. How do you feel?
Oh, that's unbelievable. Come from 5 or 6 goals down at 3/4 time. Pinch at the end is a bloody good feeling.
Was the belief?
Yeah. Come closer, Brado.
You really struggled to get going. How did you?
Yeah, look, we're a pretty fit team, and the boys have been working very, very hard since late November. So we knew we had the legs in us, and they looked pretty tired halfway through the 3rd quarter. So we knew if we're half a chance at 3/4 time for in sort of 4 or 5 goals, and turned out that way.
Or just relief?
Yeah. It's more relief. I mean, we're pretty confident coming in, and to find ourselves 4 goals down at quarter time was a bit of a shock, but yeah, certainly relief now.
Congratulations, mate. I'm sure you enjoy it.
All right, thanks, mate.
Great stuff, Braden Ingram. Just next time you get a guest, mate, we had that perfectly, but just walk over closer to the club rooms. The further out you get, the worse the connection gets. As we're just waiting for the Wantirna South boys and the faithful to come across and line up and ready for the medal presentations. The Templestowe boys and a throng of purple haze are waiting for these medal presentations. The best on ground, we had to vote. We had to pick, of course, gentlemen. Don't know who it is. They're all done under lock and key. But who do you think were the standout players this afternoon, Dino?
Oh, look, like I said at the start of the game, I think the fact that Wantirna South didn't have anyone, we're not going to have anyone represented tomorrow night at the league vote count, which is quite interesting because they're so even. And that proved that again today. They had a lot of good players, like Papa was terrific. Harkness was good after his first couple of clangers early in the first half. Lee was solid. You go through the whole side. I thought Hutchinson was very good. Edgecombe was great in the first half, went forward, kicked that vital goal in the last quarter. Teakle was good. You go through their whole list, and they all had their time. But you look through Templestowe side, and I thought young Wilson was fantastic. All day, his pressure, his run. Just the way he applied himself for the whole day was terrific.
Don't come to us yet. Just trying to get him closer.
That's all right, Braden. Keep working hard down there, mate. But you're spot on, Dino. I think there wasn't a lot of players out there out of the 22 that really put together a full four-quarter performance. There was a lot of 2 and 3-quarter performances, but I struggle to think of someone who really completed the whole game. Gav Casey, thanks to Lifecare.
And we've got the skipper of the Premiership side, Andrew Teakle, comeback.
So you got to come very close to the dais, guys, before you start doing any interviews.
Between and probably at the start of that, probably didn't think we were going to.
We'll cut that off, Gav. You'll have to come when after the presentation. Once everybody's made their way towards the dais, we'll be back closer to the broadcast position, which hopefully will help out any technical difficulties we are having at the moment. But make sure you've still got Andrew Teakle on standby, because we certainly want to speak to a very happy skipper. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tapper, ripper job all afternoon. How did it all look on paper, my friend?
In that last quarter, Wantirna South had 21 hit-outs to 8, but Templestowe again won the clearances 12 to 11. Nothing in the kick count, 42 to 41 in favour of Wantirna South. They won the contested possessions 38 to 32. There was 12 inside 50s for a piece. You look at the stats for the match overall, Templestowe won't know how they lost it. They had 13 more clearances, 18 more kicks, 26 more handballs, 5 more contested possessions, 37 more uncontested possessions, and won the inside 50s 58 to 43. But we say stats that matter. Well, today the only one that really mattered was the scoreboard, because Wantirna South kicked 6 straight in the last quarter.
Very well said. Let's cross down boundary side. Thanks to Lifecare. Gav Casey, take 2.
Andrew Teakle, we're going to go again. How about that for a comeback? You were saying it was just a great effort.
As I said, mate, something we put ourselves on is that resilience. And the preparation to really work hard for each other, wherever the game might be, whether it's 10 goals up, 10 goals down, whatever it is. That resilience we've built over a number of years. We come from being relegated twice in 3 years, and just all the boys stuck together. And it's a culmination of that, which makes us now feel pretty good.
And did that opposition make you doubt yourselves in that second term? You had to fight, and the attitude had to turn around at quarter time.
All right, credit to Templestowe, they came out and absolutely blew us out of the water in those first 2 quarters especially. We felt that during the third we sort of rested a little bit back, especially in our midfield. We started to get a little bit on top with the clearances and stuff like that, or at least breaking even. And then that last quarter, we dug deep, mate, and I'm sure they were as well, but we managed to come on top.
And last one, who do you reckon the heroes of the day are?
You can't really fault Hutch in a game like this. He always runs all day, but our back six are under enormous pressure, basically, especially in that first half. So your Timmy Lees, your Jackson Freemans, boys like that, with Braden Harkness and Jackie Burkett and Sean Young helping him out. So they've been massive all year, and it really just showed them standing up today throughout the day.
Just another one, you're the skipper of the club. How does it feel to be the leader and to celebrate on this day?
It's hard to describe, mate. I've played at Wantirna since I was 7 years old, so it's an amazing feeling to come through the seniors, then become skipper, and then to win a grand honour. It's unreal, mate.
Well done.
Great work, Gav Casey. Very happy captain of the Wantirna South Footy Club, Andrew Teakle, of course. Dyson Baker's lovely tones just ringing around East Burwood Reserve, ready for the medal presentations. The best player on the ground will be announced first and foremost.
The Les Leedy medalist, Blue Ribbon medalist.
Wide open, I reckon, this one.
I reckon Hutchinson.
I don't know who's going to win it.
I reckon Hutchinson, he was my vote.
Brad Hutchinson, my vote.
Oh, BWS.
can hear Dyson coming through.
A really happy crowd. All look lost. Fantastic game there by Brad Hudges, and a couple of goals as well, but a four-quarter performer who's really one that you notice right throughout the afternoon.
Yeah, certainly spot on, and he really does embody what the Wantirna South Footy Club's all about. He's been around for a long time there. He had the 17 possessions, but had 5 in in each quarter in the second half, and 4 in the first quarter and 3 in the second quarter. So he really did an even performance he put on the park today. Tim Lee just coming up to get his medal now. He was fantastic today. Had 13 touches, but I think it was really good early on. Had a bit of polish across the half-back line.
Fantastic season by Tim Lee.
Lockie Gregg.
Pretty quiet today.
Yeah, only the 4 disposals for Lockie Gregg, but it doesn't really matter when you get that premiership medal around your neck.
Not at all.
Still goes in hard every time. I think Burkett was good today.
Yeah, liked his game. Yeah. Very solid.
8 touches.
A couple of great tackles too.
Braden Harkness, he was pretty average in the first half, just in terms of what he was doing with his disposal.
I actually liked his game today, Braden Harkness. He was a cool head.
Plenty of the football, had 21 touches.
Anthony Paper played a great game, I thought, today. I gave him best on ground myself.
He was strong and he was tough, and he did the real hard-nosed things. Had 16 of the best and really did spread them out across the 4 quarters. Was awesome in that second quarter.
Jason Barry, a big man, a very important big man for Wantirna South.
Well, it became more important later in the game when Jakey Deans went off just before 3-quarter time with what looked like an ankle injury, so he finished off the game pretty strongly. He had to do that.
Hutchie just getting his second medal for the afternoon as Sam McIntyre comes up. Brad, he had a good game, Sam McIntyre.
Yeah, he was solid. A bit like Jack Burkett, unfashionable but very effective.
Just had the 3 disposals. Sam McIntyre got cleaned up by Simon Grasser right in front of us early on.
Favourite son, Scotty Edgecombe.
Terrific early, I thought.
18 touches for Scotty Edgecombe. Interestingly enough, he had 7 of those in the first quarter where he was mopping up a lot of football.
Andrew Goland, he works very hard.
Kicked a great goal in that last quarter, part of the comeback. Brent Walker, terrific as always.
Nice boots.
Used the ball well today, as he usually does.
He had real important, dangerous possessions. He controlled a lot of the game from a high half-forward flank.
What a great game this guy had.
I was really critical of him before half-time, but his second half was terrific.
Yes. Daniel Badome.
Just did what he had to do. Only the 5 touches for the big fella, but a crucial goal late to give Wantirna South the lead.
I thought Ryan Baker was very good today, Brad.
Yeah, he always uses the ball well. Very classy player and played his role today for sure. David Lang.
Another one of those hard footballers.
Yeah, the ex-Glen Waverley Hawk.
Had a good day as well, contributed. Like most of his teammates, came good in the second half, and especially in the last quarter. Jake Deans, unfortunately injured, missed the last quarter, missed the heroics of that final turn.
Had no problem jumping up and down the dais.
Yeah, that's true. Daniel Crome, you liked his game today,
Yeah, I did.
Ben?
I did. I thought he was a solid performer right throughout.
Sean Young didn't get much of the footy down back, went forward in that last quarter. Played his role.
Favourite player, Taylor Leggett, he's an absolute ripper.
Came in and out of it this afternoon, but was certainly worth his weight. And an experienced campaigner for Wantirna South as well, been around forever.
Noticeable limp on the dais there as well, Seymour.
Yeah, he came off late in the third. Ran out the game, but looked like he strained something like.
Bobby Papp didn't call him to the last quarter, but he got some important touches in that last 10 minutes or so.
I almost recruited him to South Belgrave this year, Pappy, and decided to come to Wantirna South, so he's pulled the right rein there. Well done.
Yep.
Jackson Freeman.
Gave him a vote. I thought he was terrific. It was a great game.
It was your typical Jackson Freeman game. Rebounded a lot of football and didn't really give Simon Grasser a sniff. Apart from that one lead, we came out and took a strong mark, but I think that was more the delivery than anything.
Yeah, just going. Sorry, Brad.
Sorry, mate. No, we've mentioned all their players, and we haven't said anyone was really starred. But that's their big advantage over the rest of the competition, is they're so even. So
it's actually a hard day to give votes.
It was. And for 3 quarters, most of the Wantirna South players were below par.
Correct.
But they came home well. And all the guys I was going to give votes to just faded out in that last quarter for Templestowe. So
I thought Wilson was probably equally their best. He was fantastic.
Yeah, Wilson, Matty Bain, Chris Stavropoulos, Jamie Van Kerkhoff, they all tried hard.
Van Kerkhoff was terrific,
they just couldn't really piece it together for the whole 4 quarters. which is indicative of, unfortunately for them, the way the game played out. But as I said before, full credit to the Wantirna South Footy Club. If ever you've seen a grand final or a premiership earned by playing a great game of football, it's today. Off the canvas, backs to the wall as the premiership captain Andrew Teakle up onto the dais to collect his medal. He was pretty consistent today. The equal leading possession getter on the ground with Matty Bain, had 24 disposals after only having 2 touches in the first quarter. So his last 3 quarters were absolutely fantastic.
I bet you Matt Clark didn't think he'd be up there about 45 minutes ago.
No, absolutely not. They really did have to find something, and they did.
Well, we can't hear Matt Clark, so continue.
Just talk over the top of him. Of course, he's addressing the Templestowe boys now, lauding some praise on them. BWS, a game by all rights 3 weeks ago. If you had said that Templestowe would have turned the tables on Mitcham and were even going to be here on grand final day, let alone almost get over the line, you almost would have laughed.
Well, you've got to give credit where credit's due, and it's what side comes to play big finals, and that's what Templestowe did last week. They learned from their mistakes, but Wantirna South, well, they were sitting in the wings, weren't they? They've been starved of football over the last month, having a couple of breaks in the first few weeks of the Choose Tap final series, but they got to suss really Templestowe out, didn't they? And no doubt they sussed out the Mitcham Football Club as well. They'd done their homework. They really didn't get off to the start that they wanted to, all the first half, or probably the first 3 quarters, but finally something clicked in that final term. It needed to, and when Matt Clark no doubt asked some big players to stand up in that final 30 minutes, they all put their hand up and said, I want to be a premiership player at the Wantirna South Football Club, and I want to play Division 2 football. And here's 2 very happy men, the premiership captain and the premiership coach, Andrew Teakle and Matty Clark. And look at the boys get around him now on the dais. And a great scenes, isn't it? You just love getting everybody involved at a football club at this time.
Well, absolutely, but you've got to give credit to them, over and above even more, because last year it happened to them. They got overrun in the last quarter. They got blown off the park, and we spoke about the demons. Do people carry demons the next year? And they overcame theirs. So congratulations.
Yeah, and people can. We could almost put Templestowe in a similar bracket now as Wantirna South. It's almost like a back to the drawing board, and they'll be better placed to challenge again for the flag next year. But somewhat of an end of an era for Templestowe. Adam Prestigiacomo and George Sarnides hanging up the boots at their last game for the Templestowe Football Club, and there might be some more retirees on top of that as well.
They were terrific. They always came back into our club and stayed for a couple of hours. So I feel sorry for them, but someone's got to lose, and maybe their turn next year.
Second time in 4 weeks, Seymour, that the last quarter has been really costly for Templestowe, and for the second time in 4 weeks, they were unable to stop a team's momentum in that final term.
Yeah, they just didn't seem to have, not so much have any answers, but once Wantirna South got on a roll, it just seemed like they were far too much of a force for anyone to stop, let alone a Templestowe side that was completely battered and bruised in the last 3 weeks of football. And we mentioned it as soon as the siren went. The legs certainly came into it. To say they weren't a factor, you'd probably be lying. It was definitely a factor.
That's a month of football that none of those players, I reckon, will ever forget at Templestowe. Like, what a roller coaster it's been.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Boundary.
It's crossed down boundary side, thanks to Lifecare, Braden, Ingram.
Yeah, BWS, I'm with the Blue Ribbon medalists today. Brad Hutchison, mate, congratulations. Sensational game. What an amazing feeling this must be.
Oh, absolutely unbelievable. The way, we thought we were done and dusted, but we just kept saying believe, 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 and, to turn that around, fantastic.
The first quarter, you guys honestly were pretty poor, but after that, you probably did find your way back into the game, but struggled to impact the scoreboard. Did you feel that the way on the field as well?
Yeah, we talked about it at quarter time and half time. We were still getting the same sort of amount of shots as them, but it was just conversion. So it was really about doing the same things. And then come 3/4 time, we decided to roll the dice with how we were sort of manning up in the middle, and it paid off.
That fourth quarter was amazing to watch. You guys just came home with a wet sail and was just throw caution in the wind, and it worked. When that sort of plan pays off, it looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It does. The last 30 minutes of a grand final and you're behind, you've got to try something. And I give full credit to Clarkey and Stoney and Teeks and those guys on the bench. It was exactly throwing caution to the wind.
Best on ground today. When you're playing, do you get the feeling that, not that you're in contention, but I'm having a really good game today, or is it more just we just need to find a way here?
Just need to find a way. A couple of our leaders and myself got aside before the game, and we just talked about when the chips are down, we've got to stand up. And I like to try and think I do that every single week, just talk, and try and bring guys into the game. So obviously today it was, recognised, but it's not about that, it's about the premiership medal.
All yours, BWS.
Hutchie, it's BWS here, mate. Congratulations on the winner. Great scenes out there. And I'm so envious of you playing in a premiership out there today, because it looks like the whole football club's out there on the park at the moment.
To win 2 premierships on the day is just fantastic. I mean, a credit to how this club's gone about it this year. And, our 19s were so close as well in making today. So, we couldn't be prouder, and I couldn't be more thankful of Clarkie and how he's gone about coaching the boys along with Morgie this year.
Hutchie, I'm just watching. I saw Andrew Azzopardi limping off the ground just before. He's got the premiership cup in his hand, and of course Jamo played in the reserves premiership today. They're the 2 unlucky stories. I mean, every grand final, every premiership has those stories, but those blokes are certainly going to get mentioned more than once tonight in the celebration, surely.
Oh, for sure. Azza sent a text out to all the boys this morning and just said, I'm there with you, and a few blokes talked about it before the game, and it's just little things like that just bring guys together. And Jamo was fantastic Thursday night. It was a tough decision after we walked out from selection, but he made a big difference to the reserves game, and he's walked away with a premiership medal as well, and he's a well-credentialed player and has done the right thing by the club, and it's just fantastic today for all of us involved.
Talk us through your first goal of the afternoon, the side's first goal. I think about 2 o'clock in the morning it'll be from 80 metres out, right on the boundary from over the other side of the fence, but it really was a massive hoof.
Yeah, normally I can't kick over a jam tin, so I am going to play that one up, that's for sure. I had one a bit earlier on that I passed off to Leggett, and I saw him again when I had that shot. He was roaming around the back, and I just thought, not this time, Taylor. I'm going to have the shot and steady us up, and it went through. So, really pleased with that one.
G'day, Brad. Dean Burnell, South Belgrave Footy Club. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mate, tell me honestly, how many demons did you have halfway through the third quarter? You and the side, obviously what happened last year, it must have been...
Oh, they were there, don't you worry. But, I mean... You've just got to believe. You've just got to find a way. And there was that slight breeze, and it was just enough to keep your head in it. That if we got 1 or 2 early, that we could come home. And I mean, the backmen stood up, and I think our backline all year has just been super. And you could see how much they were throwing themselves. Jacko Freeman all day, and then also Doss with that huge smother right at the end there. It was just amazing.
Yeah, no, congratulations. Great day. The best side we played against all year by a fair way, and well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Brad Hutchinson, a star footballer, Les Leedy medalist, Blue Ribbon medalist today on the park out here at East Build Reserve. Great job by Braden and Gav scooping up that player there in Brad, and no doubt they'll be right on everybody else's hammer. We're hoping to have a chat to Matt Clark very, very soon. If they can just spot him up somewhere. But players like Hutchie, they're a dime a dozen.
Are they? I thought they were the completely other way around.
Sorry, that's what I meant to say. That's exactly what I meant to say.
They're so hard to match up on. He's a hard match up. Him and Leggett are just almost impossible to keep down for the whole day. So, you almost got to concede that they're going to get 20 touches every week.
And just hang tight for the next interview. I think most of the senior group has found their way into the change room. So, if our Lifecare boundary riders can make sure they do get the song, the one